I've literally just had to throw it together in like a few minutes. Because obviously we've got some breaking news that I don't think any of us really expected to be seeing today. You can see the email that's on screen at the moment, the tweet, that's on screen, and this basically confirming that several superstars have been let go. Now, I've got quite a bit to say on this subject. I'm sure that you guys have got a lot to say on this subject as well. I think that the superstars that have been let go, I think that the names are very interesting. And we're obviously going to go through each one. This is seriously a very somber stream. It's a difficult stream to do because people have lost their jobs. This is, I mean, like, it's not just people's jobs. This is like people's dreams. People dream of getting to the WWE. They work their whole careers to get to the WWE, and these superstars have got there and they've achieved that. And now they find themselves through no fault of their own, obviously being let go. So this is very sad. It is crazy. It is hard to know where to begin, but we're going to go through with the tweet that we've got on screen. What I do know about these kind of situations in the past is that they can follow them up very quickly with other announcements. So that was part of the reason as to why we were doing this stream, because there's every chance that there's more announcements to come. I hope there isn't, but there is every chance that there could be more to come. This news breaking literally 30 minutes ago. So this really is breaking news. I couldn't even have got a video up in this time. So again, that's why it made a lot of sense to do the stream instead. So yeah, you can see that WWE has come to terms with the release of Drake Maverick. It's come to terms with the release of Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, EC3 and Lio Rush. Now, these are very interesting names because Drake Maverick was meant to be in the Cruiserweight tournament. He actually did a video just the other day talking about why he had been included. I actually praised him on a stream the other day, saying I wish other superstars would do similar, and I wish that they would take to social media and talk about, why they're involved in certain storylines. He did that, and he spoke about why he was in that Cruiserweight tournament. Now, obviously, we don't know who's going to replace him, but that's really not the concern. But I actually would have thought that he would have been in quite a good position with the company. I thought that the stuff that he was doing with the 24/7 championship not that long ago was some of the most entertaining stuff from the end of 2019. Him and R-Truth, I thought they were doing some good work. He was very flexible as well. He was a GM. He was fine on the microphone. Obviously, now it seemed like he was starting to transition towards working in ring. And he was part of this Cruiserweight tournament. So, for me, Drake Maverick, the very first name on this list, quite a big surprise to see him being included. Curt Hawkins, again, there's a little theme here. Well, Curt Hawkins and Karl Anderson, both parts of a tag team. So I'm wondering if they've only released Curt Hawkins and they've only released Karl Anderson because they don't want the teams going to AEW or going to a rival. I'm literally just speaking out loud. But I do think it's very interesting that they've released Curt Hawkins and not Zack Ryder as well. I think it's very interesting they've released Karl Anderson and not Luke Gallows as well. I just wonder if there's something in the fact that they have value as a tag team, but maybe not as much value as solo stars. So they've let go of Curt Hawkins, someone that we would see on and off, someone that I actually liked as a performer. I thought that he was a good performer, someone that, was honest, always put in a shift. Obviously, we didn't see him a great deal on TV, but a big figure collector as well, and always came across as like a likable person, I thought. So really gutted that Curt Hawkins has been let go, to be honest. Karl Anderson, actually, I don't know if he might be better out of WWE, and I know that's a stupid thing to say because obviously it's a big contract. And I know as well that, he was part of the OC, he was in that Boneyard match, but he's actually a really good wrestler, like a singles wrestler. He had a great run over in New Japan. Now, obviously, he'd want to stay with his friends and everything, but I could see AEW picking him up even as a solo star, or he could go back to Japan. He could go back to New Japan. So, weird that they would release 1/3 of the OC. I mean, that literally now just leaves Luke Gallows and AJ Styles, unless there's going to be other announcements to come. And as we said, we have seen that in the past. We have seen the case where half an hour later, there will be other announcements. But at this stage, the only announcement that we've had is that Drake Maverick, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, and of course EC3 against someone else that, dare I say, he might not be too down. EC3, I should imagine, was very disappointed with how he was not being used. I think that he had concussion. That's certainly something that had been mentioned in the chat and in our watch-alongs. So I think he did have medical issues that he was still trying to kind of come back from. But there's no denying that Vince didn't see the potential in him. And there's no denying that he wasn't being used to his full potential. I mean, they used him okay in NXT. I mean, he didn't really set the world on fire down there. He got called up very early, in my opinion, and then seemingly they didn't do anything with him, and then he's picked up a few injuries and whatever. So I'm not sure if EC3 would be pleased to now be away from a WWE contract so that he's free to go to, he really could go to places like NWA. Hopefully they would be interested in his talents. AEW, he could try New Japan. Obviously, there's Ring of Honor, MLW, AEW. I mean, there's a few options out there. WWE is certainly not the be-all and end-all. But I do know that for a lot of talent, this really is the mountaintop. This is the big contract. This is WrestleMania. This is wrestling for a lot of people. But I'm not sure if I don't know. EC3 is a tough one to read. And Lio Rush was another one that was quite a big surprise. He was upset the other day that he hadn't been included in the Cruiserweight tournament, the interim Cruiserweight tournament. So I know that he was very disappointed at not being included in that. He actually took to Twitter to send a couple of messages out, just kind of airing that frustration. But an hour ago, so half an hour before this came out, Lio Rush actually made a statement on Twitter, which I'll read to you because I did retweet it. So this came from Lio Rush an hour ago. To all my fellow co-workers, whatever happens today or the remainder of this week, just know we're all going to be good. Once a family, forever a family. #wrestling. Now, I don't know, obviously, if an hour ago he was aware that he was going to be one of the people that was going to be let go. But I definitely feel for Lio Rush because he is a very, very good superstar. I feel for all of them, of course I do. The only question that I'm asking is, are all of these people going to be that disappointed that they're away from a WWE contract now? EC3, for example. But I do feel for the likes of Drake Maverick. I think he really was enjoying being in WWE. I feel for Curt Hawkins, who, is more towards the end of his career than the beginning of his career. So I think he was kind of just enjoying seeing out the final stages, if you will, of his career and, teaming with Zack Ryder, something that I think he really enjoyed doing the figure videos, everything along those lines. Karl Anderson, as I said, I think is very strange, very, very strange that they would release him and not Luke Gallows as well. I mean, not that I want to see other people getting released, but it does make me question if they're just releasing one part of tag teams so that it kind of devalues, the appeal for maybe other companies. EC3, as I said, I think all will be quite pleased. And Lio Rush, very strange that he just not long ago was tweeting out a message talking about, that we're all a family, and he was in everyone's thoughts, so on, so on, so on. Coaster Maniac says days more are being announced. This is what I feared. Just from previous times. Coaster, where's this information coming from? I'm on the WWE Twitter account right now, so this really is breaking news that you're getting at the moment. Days look at the new list. EC3 to AEW. Cedric Alexander. They have now released Luke. Okay, Heath Slater's gone. I haven't seen this new list. Let's go to... I'm sure someone's probably tweeted it over to me. I know this seems maybe not the most professional, but as I said, I am literally giving you this information as I'm finding out. I mean, you're finding this out as I'm finding it out. Pro Wrestling Splash reporting that Dave Finlay, Mike Rotunda, Shane Helms, the Hurricane, and Lance Storm have all departed WWE. So I should probably start writing these down now. I mean, because I might start losing track, unless there is like a list that's doing the rounds at the moment. Let's have a look. So let's jot these down. So Finlay, Mike Rotunda, who was only on the bump earlier today, Shane Helms, and Lance Storm on top. So those are all like backstage producers. They help to produce the matches that you see. So obviously a lot of former talent there. If we go down, 4 producers gone. I can see that. Heath and Gallows. I haven't seen the Heath and Gallows news. 2 producers gone. It's just all starting to come through now. Hurricane says, I knew I shouldn't have answered that call. So we're starting to hear from Hurricane now as well. What about Luke Gallows? Well, rumours are coming through that Luke Gallows has been let go, but I haven't seen that list yet. I mean, literally, the only things I know is what is on screen and then the names that we've just read out. So here we go. Wow. Okay, there's a list that's come through, but this isn't from a confirmed source. But here's a list that is doing the rounds online right now. So everyone that's been released so far: Drake Maverick, EC3, Luke Gallows, Karl Anderson, Lio Rush, Eric Young, Curt Hawkins, Heath Slater. That is devastating. Lance Storm, Shane Helms, Mike Rotunda, Fit Finlay, Pat Buck, Billy Kidman, Sean Daivari, Scott Armstrong, been around for so long, Sarah Stock. So some big names on there. Those haven't been confirmed by WWE, or certainly not what I've seen. If we go back to WWE, I mean, we could literally be at the point where people are finding this information out right now. I mean, it certainly seems like Lio Rush found that information out around about the same time we did. I certainly don't think that these people are finding out much in advance or knew hours ago or anything along those lines. So certainly looks like this news is currently breaking through. So if you are just joining us, there was a statement from WWE in regards to cost cutting. This actually came from WWE's corporate division, and they were talking about the fact that they were having to reduce costs. This was all down to COVID-19 coronavirus impact. So they were reducing costs. They said they were trying to save around about, I put it in my original video that went up onto the channel, but it was, I want to say around about the 4 million a month mark. This was going to create extra cash flow of about 140 million for them as well. And so it really does look like they've had to sit down in order to generate that money, sit down and have a look to see who it is that they could afford to release. And as we said, we're just starting to get information coming through now about superstars that are being let go. Coaster Maniac says WWE.com is adding the list to an article. Okay, thank you, Coaster Maniacs. If we jump over to WWE.com, then we can look at this. Of course, this is a completely unplanned developing situation. Kurt Angle let go. What's this? Okay, so it is on WWE.com. If you go to WWE.com, it says Kurt Angle, Karl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and other superstars released. Yeah, WWE has come to terms on the release of Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's name now being included in that. Again, he was someone that was working backstage. Drake Maverick, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, Luke Gallows joining Karl Anderson. Very strange that Luke Gallows wasn't included in that original communication. Heath Slater, Eric Young. I mean, Heath Slater has been there. I don't know how long. He came through, I want to say, like the first season of NXT. He was part of the Nexus. I mean, you're talking around 2010 for that. So 10 years on the main roster for Heath Slater. But obviously before that, he would have been down in FCW doing, or OV, probably FCW around that time, doing obviously developmental work down there. So yeah, I couldn't even tell you how long he's been on WWE's books, but certainly over 10 years for Heath Slater. Eric Young, EC3, Aiden English is a new name, a name that we haven't spoken about yet. Aiden English, obviously one half of the Vaudevillains, and obviously when they broke up, he then started doing a lot of solo work. He was part of Rusev Day. And he then kind of transitioned over to commentary, and he was doing commentary for 205 Live, and I believe he started doing commentary for like NXT UK, and so yeah, I mean, everyone's affected. We've seen that there's backstage producers that have been let go. We've seen referees that are being let go. Scott Armstrong. We've seen talent now that's being let go. Tag teams. I mean, there is no OC now. You've literally just got AJ Styles on his own. I mean, all of this is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if they're a referee, a cameraman, a wrestler, or whatever they are. But it's the fact that they are, being released at this time. This is kind of what we feared. This is why I've never been too outspoken in regards to WWE still trying to give us WrestleMania, still trying to honor their TV contracts, because the alternative was that they were going to hit like serious financial difficulty, and it seems like, they've looked at it and they've hit financial difficulty anyway. I suppose question marks now have to be asked about the XFL, and if that had any impact, because of course Vince, sold a lot of shares and invested a lot into the XFL. There certainly now seems to have been some sort of crossover between WWE and XFL. And is it a coincidence that XFL, goes bankrupt just a few days before this all happens? I don't know. Rated R Superstar says, I'm hurt days. I am honestly hurt. I totally understand that, bud. I totally understand that. It's a very somber situation, and one that's continuing to develop, as we said. Very difficult to get to, obviously, everyone that's in the chat right now. This, in my recollection, is probably the biggest day for releases that I can recall. I can't recall another day like this. Certainly there's been days where there's been superstars that have been let go. This isn't the first time that this has happened, but I can't recall it being done on this scale, where it's backstage personnel, producers, referees, wrestlers. Just the scale of it is mind blowing. And as we said when we even started this stream, it was literally just the names that were on screen that we were focusing on. And obviously that is developed into much more. Regia Productions says, what happens to Maverick in the tournament of 205? Well, he can very easily just get replaced. That's not the question. or the concern, if you will. It's more the case that he's been let go at all. I can see people saying Matt Hardy has been released. Matt Hardy isn't with WWE. He's with AEW, unless AEW are now starting to release people as well. But I would find that to be quite a coincidence. Again, just trying to keep an eye on this. It was 6 minutes ago. We're literally getting this news as Twitter is getting this news in regards to like Kurt Angle and Aiden English being released. So I think are there going to be more? I honestly don't know. How can I do this? Right, let's go and see if... I feel like what we need to do is just chuck a bit of information on screen as to all of the names that we've got right now, because obviously there's a lot of speculation. There's going to be unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of fake news on this. There's going to be a lot of people that think it's funny to throw in names that haven't been let go. Can I just state that it is absolutely not funny? There is absolutely no humour in this situation. This is a very serious situation, and a situation where people are losing their jobs, and, you know, they're not going to know what tomorrow's going to bring, you know? So this is a very, very serious situation. And it looks like we're, as we said, getting people being let go, sadly, all the time. So at the moment, it is the names that you can see on screen. Kurt Angle and Aiden English are the latest names to be added to that. There's quite a few backstage talent that's been let go as well, in the likes of Finlay, Mike Rotunda, Shane Helm, the Hurricane, Lance Storm. There's quite a few names that maybe you didn't know worked for WWE behind the scenes. But yes, unfortunately, there's people behind the scenes, and obviously superstars as well, that are being let go and being affected by this. I'm just going to jump back over to the WWE Twitter account just to see if there's been any new update. The latest update they've got is literally still the tweet that's on screen. So coming from WWE, it is literally just the names that you can see on screen. And then on WWE.com, they've got Kurt Angle. So Kurt Angle. They've got Luke Gallows has been confirmed by WWE now. Heath Slater has been confirmed by WWE. Eric Young has been confirmed as well. And Aiden English. So, as far as I can see, the names on screen, as well as Kurt Angle, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, and Aiden English, those are the only confirmed names that I'm seeing. But as we said, this is an ever-changing situation. I would believe the other names that are being rumoured, the other names that are being heavily spoken about as well. So let's just quickly jump into the chat, see what people are saying. Do you think that they will be brought back in the future? To be honest, we spoke earlier in this stream about the fact that some of that talent probably won't be too disheartened. I don't want to speak for them. I can't speak for them. But I do look at people like EC3, who was just sat in catering, not being used at all. And you would have to look at that and you would have to think he is definitely going to be someone that could benefit by being freed from his contract. Of course, that contract is guaranteed money, though. That's guaranteed money that's going to help support his family. So there's no positive spin that you can necessarily put on this. But it is going to allow him to go off and maybe work for the NWA, maybe go and work for AEW. But the truth is, we don't know how those companies are doing either. NWA has shut down, you know, and not been even giving us taped shows or any kind of shows, because they record their shows in blocks and then send them out. And we've basically run out of shows. We ran out of shows for NWA a good few weeks ago. So, they've got no money coming in apart from a few merch sales and everything. And we keep stressing this. If there's a superstar that you really enjoy, now is definitely the time to support them. You can get cameo videos. If you go to things like Cameo or other sites where you can actually get personal messages from different superstars. for a set fee, and I would urge that you look to do that. If you've got the money to spare and it's something that you would enjoy, then I definitely would urge that you reach out and support the talent in that way. As well as that, you can buy merch directly from them. You don't have to go to places like WWE Shop, but obviously if you do, that's going to help support them as well, because they get a commission of that, I believe. And also, WWE are less likely to let go people that are shifting merch at the moment. So, any kind of support that you can throw Superstars way, your favourite wrestlers way, would be massively appreciated at this very, very difficult time. So, as we said, we're just waiting for more news to come through. The latest we've got is the tweet that was on screen. That was sent through 53 minutes ago as of right now. There is a small article that's been put up on WWE.com. Just waiting for that to get updated a little bit more, a little bit further. So far, there's not really much that's been added to it, just an awful lot of speculation, a lot of names that's been thrown around, a lot of the dirt sheets obviously finding out information. Certainly does look like we're running probably at around about 20 to 25 names of people that have been let go. That includes on-screen and behind-the-scenes talent. And as we said, I know that this is a very rough and ready stream, completely unplanned, no scripts. Not that we ever have a script, but we're literally just getting this information and finding this information out together. So I said at the start, quite surprising about the original names that were announced. As we said, we're starting to find out more of those names that are feeding and trickling through. Jerry Lopez says WWE sucks. I don't know, dude. I mean, it's a difficult situation, isn't it? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend WWE because I don't know. All I know is that they're taking the steps that they feel they have to take to protect the business. You're going to see a lot of companies having to do that. There's a few stores, a few businesses here in the UK that's today announced that they are going into administration as well. A couple of high street stores that have gone into administration. I'm sure that you're starting to see similar where you are, or know people that are being affected by this. So I suppose in a way we shouldn't be too surprised that things are getting to this point. There was only so long that companies were going to be able to go without there being an impact like this, and it seems like now we are getting to that point. So very, very, very concerning, very somber time, and as I said, just waiting to find out and get some more confirmation on some more of those names that have sadly been released today. Jackson Oak says, I hope that they bring Lio Rush back. Well, Lio Rush is certainly a talent that I don't think was ever fully utilised. Lio Rush is someone that, deserved better, really. I went to an indie show in 2016. I'd never heard of Lio Rush. It was a stacked show. It had the Young Bucks, it had Kenny Omega, it had Pete Dunne, it had Trent Seven, it had Pentagon Jr., Zack Sabre Jr., Marty Scurll. This was put on by Fight Club Pro, which is Trent Seven's company. So it was an absolutely stacked card. The venue could hold 500 people. There was 1,000 people in the room. It was an absolutely incredible show. But the person I walked away thinking about the most, that had blown my mind the most, that had really just, stole the night for me, was Lio Rush. Lio Rush. It was before he had signed for WWE. And we definitely saw glimpses of what he could do in the ring. He really is a big talent. I don't know if it's behind the scenes or anything along those lines that means that he never really got the push that he really deserved. I mean, they put him with Bobby Lashley and everything, but it was very all stop-start. It kind of felt like when he went down to NXT again, or returned to NXT, got given that Cruiserweight Championship, that was going to be like the rebirth for him. But again, he was only speaking out the other day at his disappointment at not being included in that Cruiserweight tournament. Fast forward, and I mean, I can't even say that they didn't include him because they knew they were going to let him go, because Drake Maverick was included, and Drake Maverick has also been let go. So I don't think there's any connection there. I'm not going to say that they left him out because they had planned to let him go ages ago. I don't believe that's true, because as we said, Drake Maverick was in that tournament, and sadly Drake Maverick is one of the names that's been let go today as well. Coaster Maniac says, got to head out and get my mind around this. We'll see you tomorrow. Shout out to you, dude. Cal W95 says, Days, some of these could be furlough releases. Maybe. I mean, it says we wish them all the best on their future endeavors. Certainly the names that are on screen. So I wouldn't be thinking that those are furlough releases. I think they're being very careful as to what they're announcing. I think they're being very careful as to the information that they're putting out. That might go some way as to explaining as to why the information coming out is quite slow. Obviously, we're hearing a lot of rumours. We're hearing a lot of names. We're not necessarily seeing those names being confirmed by WWE. So it could be that you're absolutely right, and they're having to be very careful with the wording, because there's actually different terms for people's releases with potential to bring them back in the future. But I would certainly say the names that you can see on screen and that have been on screen all throughout, certainly the way that it ends with we wish them all the best in their future endeavours, heavily implies that those are not names that they're going to be looking to bring back anytime soon, unfortunately. So, yeah, an excellent point. An excellent point. So, still waiting for further updates in regards to this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as we await for WWE to confirm this, because they're definitely going to have to issue a further statement, because there's definitely other names that are being mentioned right now. Twitter, as you can imagine, going into meltdown at the moment. Ryan sat in saying, I hope that Jinder and Drew, Heath Slater, gets to return in a few years. So Ryan sat in basically saying there that he's very disappointed, in particular for Heath Slater. He was really hoping that Heath Slater might play the part now that Drew McIntyre was world champion. Obviously, Heath Slater's got history with Drew and 3MB. So, yeah, I can sympathise with that. I think we all kind of thought along those lines. Again, it was only the other day that he was on the bump. It was only the other day that they had Heath Slater on the bump congratulating Drew McIntyre. That's why this is so out of the blue. It's the fact that Drake Maverick was included in that tournament. It's the fact that on the bump last week we had Heath Slater. We had Mike Rotunda on the bump today, and then literally hours later we find out that they're parted ways with him as well. So shocking news. Honestly, shocking news. Jason Jordan is now being rumoured, says Frisk7. AEW could pick up the OC, the Revival, and Lio Rush. Again, it's difficult to know what financial situation they're in as well. Very, very tricky to know, because there's so much going on at the moment that it wouldn't surprise me if they're not looking to recruit at this time. Of course, the talent is out there. Maybe once we get past this, we start getting crowds back, things start getting back to normal. Companies can start to really take stock of what they, have lost financially. Then maybe we can get to a point where they can start to make those kinds of decisions. But I would say that as of right now, I can't see AEW picking up anyone unless they were exceptional, unless there was like an AJ Styles or a Seth Rollins or a Roman Reigns or a Brock Lesnar that was going to go onto the market. Then I don't think that AEW would pick anyone up at this stage. So if you are just joining us, again, I can see people that's jumping in all the time and joining us all the time. WWE announced via their corporate division, their corporate arm, that there was going to be people let go, talent that was going to be let go. We didn't know when this talent was going to be let go. There was no details as to when that might take place. Obviously, a lot of speculation as to when that might take place. And it turned out it was literally hours later, not even that, maybe an hour afterwards, that we would get details in regards to who was being let go. The first announcement made was the one that you can see on screen, and that was the fact that they had released Curt Hawkins, Drake Maverick, Karl Anderson, EC3, and Lio Rush. That is still the only statement that WWE has made via Twitter. So we haven't had another statement via Twitter. Over on WWE.com, there has been another statement that has confirmed a few other names as well. Those other names being Kurt Angle, Luke Gallows, which I find so strange that they didn't include him in the original announcement, but they didn't. So Kurt Angle, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater has sadly been confirmed. Also Eric Young and Aiden English. As we said, a few names there might surprise a few people. Maybe people didn't know that the likes of Kurt Angle was still employed by WWE. But as we said, there's plenty of other names that have been rumoured / pretty much confirmed. We're seeing the likes of Scott Armstrong and Finlay and Mike Rotunda, Shane Helms, Lance Storm. So plenty of other names that are coming through as well. So yes, again, let's just have a quick look over on Twitter to see that we are up to date with this latest news. Make sure that we are keeping abreast of things. I mean, literally, you guys know everything that's been announced so far. There's not even anything really that the dirt sheets are necessarily coming out with at this stage. But there will be another announcement from WWE because they are going to have to confirm these other names. So we are just going to stick around for a little bit and just wait for that. So I will jump back into the chat in a second. What I do want to just quickly do is just put some names up on screen for those people that are joining us so far. So just the confirmed names that we've had. So confirmed, we've had Drake, Maverick. Wow, we've had all the names that are on screen, haven't we? So Kurt Angle and Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, and Aiden English. Okay. Let's jump back into the chat. How the hell can they release Gallows and Anderson? Mike Chioda and Sarah Logan. Umberto Carrillo is now being rumoured. Ricochet is being rumoured. What I would say about these rumours is that it's very, very difficult because you've got to be getting this from reliable sources. You can't be affording to listen to just anyone on Twitter at the moment because you're going to have people just spreading fake news because you know how bored people are at the moment. You know how serious this situation is and how serious people won't be taking this situation. It's going to be I know it's going to be disappointing to see the majority of people treating this with the respect that it deserves, but then a lot of people as well not giving it that respect that it deserves. Because as you said, these are people who are losing jobs, losing their livelihood. So this is a very sensitive subject, something that needs to be treated with respect. So all I would say is just make sure that you're getting that information from the right places. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there were more, which is why we jumped onto this live stream, because this is exactly what WWE have done in the past. They've done this in the past whereby, we get an announcement, and then shortly after they follow it up with other announcements. So I'm just going to, as I said, put this confirmed information at the bottom so that anyone that's joining us can get the latest confirmed information. So Kurt Angle, sadly, confirmed. Luke Gallows, also confirmed. Heath Slater, Eric Young, Aiden English. Those are the names that I've seen confirmed, other than the ones that are on screen right now. These are the names that I've seen confirmed. Okay, let's drop that down and move this over to here. So, as we said, you know, a big surprise. I hadn't heard any rumours. I hadn't heard that WWE were going to be announcing anything today. I hadn't heard, I don't know that anyone had heard that this was going to be something that was going to be taking place today. All right, let's move this. Let's jump back into the chat. Robert Cameron says Maverick looks broken on his video. I haven't seen that he's released a video. Heath Slater did not deserve this. Gallows and Anderson to AEW. Days, what's with Money in the Bank? There's no real news other than we believe it's going to come from the PC. Logan and Mike Chioda have now been added to the WWE list. Cal W, where is that list, buddy? Because I can't see anything on the WWE Twitter. Unless if I click on it. I wasn't actually clicking on the link. If I click on the link, then I can't see any list on there either. Literally, it still just says Kurt Angle, Drake Maverick, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson. So I'm not sure as to where that list is. Sarah Logan confirmed if you refresh the article. Yes, Sarah Logan is the latest, and Mike Chioda. Mike Chioda and... This is... I've never known anything like this. Not on this scale. Not on this scale. Wow. Okay. Okay, so Sarah Logan and Mike Chioda have also now been confirmed. Wow, that's really blown my mind. I genuinely wasn't expecting to see Sarah Logan on that list. It makes you question as to how they're actually picking these names. It really makes you question how they're coming up with, you know, how do they choose these people? How has this list even been drawn together? I mean, what is WWE even going to look like after this? This is completely changing everything. Completely changing everything. I mean, to lose the backstage... To lose the backstage people that they're losing is going to hurt. But some of this talent is just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Names on here that I just absolutely was not expecting to see. So, yeah. So if you are just joining us, Sarah Logan, Mike Chioda also being added to that list, as well as the names that are on screen. Those names that are on screen are the ones that were announced first, and it certainly sounds like Drake Maverick has released a video talking about his release. I think you're obviously going to see a lot of that from Superstars, and my thoughts absolutely go out to all of them. I think this is horrific. This is one of the worst things. This is one of wrestling's dark days. This is absolutely one of wrestling's dark days. just for the sheer amount of people that this is going to affect. So, do you know what? I haven't even added names. So Sarah Logan, Mike Chioda. Horrific. Right, okay, let's try and go back to the chat. As I said, I mean, difficult to process, seriously, very difficult to process, because when we started, it was the 5 names that were on screen, and now there's more rumours coming through, and sadly, even more. There's going to be even more than what you see on screen, because there's other names. There's Finlay, there's Mike Rotunda, there's Shane Helms, there's Lance Storm. These names haven't been announced yet by WWE, so we've still got those announcements to come. Right, let me try and jump back into the chat. How can they release Mike Chioda? Coaster Maniac says, Days, Drake posted a video on Twitter. He says WWE is still going to let him do the tournament. He's crying and says he's going to give it his all, and he is really sad. Yeah. I think this is exactly what we started this with. This is exactly what we started this stream with. The fact that this was the mountaintop for a lot of people. This was the dream for a lot of people. You're not just taking people's jobs away. You're taking people's dreams as well. You know, this. Drake Maverick grew up, and I've seen interviews with Drake Maverick where he's spoken about working in WWE, and that being a dream of his. I'm amazed that they're still letting him compete in the tournament, to be honest. I mean, sure, it's going to be the final thing he can do, and I suppose why not? He's there. If he wants to do it, why not let him do it? But I should imagine he's going to be so emotional that that's going to be a very I don't know. That's a bizarre thing to allow him to continue to do, to let him go but still let him compete in the tournament. I don't know. If that's something that he wants, then so be it. So be it. Right, we've let's jump back over to Twitter. Still, the only names that have been confirmed are the ones that are on screen or the ones that are scrolling along the bottom of the screen at the moment. WWE have also stopped spending on the new headquarters. Yes. I see people asking what tournament. There was a nothing tournament, basically. It's a tournament to crown the interim cruiserweight champion. So not a big deal. A nothing tournament, all things considered. But this was a tournament to crown the interim cruiserweight champion. Lio Rush actually spoke out at the fact that he hadn't been included. And obviously we found out that he has now been let go. But Drake Maverick was included, and Drake Maverick spoke of his pride at being included in that tournament. So I'm very pleased that he's in many ways, but also confused. I mean, that they're letting him go, but still letting him compete. Producers aren't being released. They have been furloughed. Okay, that makes more sense. So that might be why they're being very, very careful. So it would seem like the names that are on screen are the names of people that have been let go. And it seems like Finlay, Mike Rotunda, Shane Helm, and Lance Storm are people that have been furloughed. EC3 could go to Impact. Honestly, I don't know what Impact's situation is going to be either. I should imagine that Impact are going to be struggling with this as well. Days, are they all going to go to AEW? I doubt it. I doubt it. Days, you forgot Anderson on the names from the bottom. No, Anderson's already on screen. The names at the bottom are the names that are additional to the names that are on screen. I didn't feel the need to necessarily double up that information. So, as you can see on screen, Drake Maverick, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, EC3, Lio Rush, and then additional names that have been confirmed on top of that, scrolling along the bottom. Just getting here. They release Hawkins, but not Ryder. That's kind of odd. Well, we did think that. We did think that in regards to why they'd made that decision, because they also announced Anderson and they didn't announce Gallows, but then they announced Gallows after. I can only imagine that they're announcing them as they contact people. And maybe it was a case that they'd managed to get in touch with Anderson and they just couldn't get through to Gallows, and so they announced the names that they had contacted, and once they'd contacted Gallows, then maybe it was a case that they could then release his name as well. We obviously don't know where this is going to end. There's names that are coming through all the time. I really am getting the vibe that they are literally calling talent as we speak. They are literally contacting people, because that can be the only reason as to why this isn't just one statement, one announcement, and why it's not just all come out in one go. Because obviously Sarah Logan, Mike Chioda, we didn't know those names at the start of this stream. In fact, we didn't know the names at the bottom of the screen at the start of this stream. All of these names have come through since this stream began. So I can see Dave saying that Road Dogg and Mark Henry now being rumoured as well. These guys will probably be free agents until this goes down. It's impossible for WWE to release injured talent. Martin Tyler, I've just seen the Drake Maverick post on Instagram. Heartbreaking. Yeah, a lot of people talking about the Drake Maverick video that's doing the rounds at the moment. Fit Finley has come out and said to everyone on God's green earth, thank you for the kind words. I've been doing this for 46 years. I pray you all get through this and we can share a hug and a drink again. Stay healthy. You're gonna see a lot. You're gonna see a lot of updates coming through. Pro Wrestling Sheet. So shout out to Cal W for sending this information through. Pro Wrestling Sheets saying that according to sources, the producers have been furloughed, not let go from the company entirely. So the producers have just been furloughed, not let go from the company entirely. So Lance Storm, Billy Kidman, Mike Rotunda, Dave Finlay, Pat Buck, Sean Davari, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock. So those names are the ones that look to have been furloughed. So those names don't appear to have been completely let go. It seems like there are two lists. There's a list of people that have been furloughed. There's a list of people that have been sadly released. And as we said, it looks like, sadly, Drake Maverick was on the released list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, so I've got the furloughed list. Furloughed. As you said, the information that I'm bringing to you on this stream is the confirmed information. The names that are on screen, those names, I've not got them from any other source than WWE themselves, either via WWE's Twitter account or WWE.com. So zero speculation. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation in the chat. You know, obviously the dirt sheets and everyone coming out with their take on this developing situation. But it certainly seems like at the moment, the names that are on screen are the names that have been released. and then the producers backstage, a list of 8 producers. Those are the names that have been furloughed. I can tell you that Sean Ross is now reporting that Eric Rowan, as well as the Colognes, have been released. Eric Rowan, as well as the Colognes, is being reported by Sean Ross. So, again, I've not got that confirmed. So, until I actually see that confirmed, that for me at this stage is just speculation. So, Rowan, Epico, and Primo. I did just refresh, and it certainly didn't show those names for me yet. No, nothing on it yet for me. Rowan, Lio, and Lashley were supposed to reunite. Now it's come through. Primo, Epico, and Rowan. I don't even know what the number is right now when it comes to superstars. Yeah. Epico, Primo, and Rowan as well. I mean, Epico and Primo, not the biggest surprise. We never saw them. They'd been with the company an awful long time. So very surprised that it, in a way, took this long. I would have thought that of everyone on the books, they would have been amongst the first names to have been let go. Obviously, not that I want them to be let go. That's absolutely not the point that I'm making. But I'm just saying that they're not a team that we were seeing week in, week out, or even, I couldn't even tell you the last time I saw them. So, Epico and Primo, maybe not the biggest surprises. Rowan, I mean, Rowan definitely is someone that could go to AEW. I could see him going to AEW and joining up with Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee. But again, you know, you've got to bear in mind the fact that we don't know what situation AEW are in. We don't know what their financials look like. So it's kind of easy to sit here and talk about they could go to AEW, they could go to NWA. But I suppose my fear is that this really could be the start of things. I think that what WWE appear to be doing is maybe releasing a lot of talent in one go, and that will hopefully see them through and ensure that they don't have to make any further cuts to their headcount moving forward. But as we said, you know, this absolutely one of the darkest days in the history of WWE for so many superstars. Again, I don't know the number. I mean, I know that we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on screen. So we've got 5 on screen. And then we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're looking at around 15 people, 15 wrestlers confirmed, with another 8 producers being furloughed. And obviously there's other rumours, names that are coming through as well. So, yeah, if you are just joining us, because I can see there's people joining us all the time, the current situation is that we're looking at around about 15 superstars that have been released. And we're looking at around 8 producers that have been furloughed at the moment. Right, let's try and jump into the chat. People are saying Jinder could be next. There's rumours about Jinder. Jinder could be next. I mean, I don't know. I think clearly there's things happening. There's, as we said, there's conversations that's being had with people literally as we're streaming. It seems like they're on the phone to different superstars. And I at this stage don't know where this is going to end or when this is going to end. So It's up to 29. I've got 15 confirmed with 8 furloughed, so I'm at 23. So I'm not sure what the other 6 are that you're referring to. Yeah, I'm up to 23. Not Primo. Primo and Epico, yes. Sin Cara was already released. Nab Gaming Sin Cara left a little while ago. Benjamin Apria is asking who has been released. So you can see on screen at the moment the names of people that have been released. We've got the names scrolling along the bottom. We've got still the only official tweet that has come from WWE regarding this is, in all fairness, it is a link to an article. And then a minute ago, WWE, from Drew McIntyre to Sting, these 10 superstars picked up and slammed the Big Show. Are you joking me? Are you actually joking? WWE tweeting this out a minute ago on their Twitter account whilst everything burns around them. Shameful. The comments, no one cares right now. Is this really the right time to post this? Is this a sick joke? Can you not right now? This is stupid. Start the video with someone you just fired. How tone deaf have you got to be to post a post like that? After releasing 15 talents, furloughing 8 producers, and you post something like this, that is absolutely shameful. You should be ashamed of yourselves, WWE, for that. Absolutely horrific. Horrific. I stand up for WWE a lot because I'm a big WWE fan, and I've been a big WWE fan all of my life. You know, I will continue to support WWE because I enjoy the moments that they've given me in life, and I enjoy everything and the work that the superstars do. That is a disgrace, and I can only think that that is a mistake by someone on the social media team rather than a direction from above, because that's ridiculous. C-First79 says Chioda had been with WWE since 1992. I knew he'd been there since the 90s. I couldn't have told you it was 92. Guess being a dedicated employee gets you nothing in WWE. I would be crushed if they let Tamina go. Anador says, I hate this. All of these people losing their incomes. Mike Kanellis has gone. Robert Cameron says, Lance Storm tweeting that he has gone from WWE. Well, Lance Storm, I've currently got on a furloughed list. So, okay. I can see people talking about Mike Kanellis now. I right now I can't tell you how long this stream's going to last because I don't know how long this is going to last. Let me jump over to the Johnny Hex says, Days, check WWE.com. Mike Kanellis has been released. Always takes a little bit of time for it to update for me for whatever reason. You guys definitely seeing these updates before I get to see them here in the UK. I don't know why, but yeah, I've not got Mike Kanellis confirmed yet. Revival went a while ago. They did, yes. Yeah, now I've got Mike Kanellis come through. So, Mike Kanellis, I mean, I would imagine Maria Kanellis. Why would you keep Maria if you've got rid of Mike Kanellis? Right. Colognes and... Is that how you... I don't want to spell his name incorrectly. And the least I can do is spell his name correctly, of Mike Kanellis. So it's actually getting to the point now where I can't fit all of the names on the screen. It won't actually let me. So Angle, Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Aiden English, Sarah Logan, Mike Chioda, the Colognes, Eric Rowan, and Mike Kanellis. Those are the additional names that have been confirmed on top of the tweet that WWE sent out. And again, just an update. Sorry to keep repeating myself, but I can see there's people that are joining us literally all of the time as this is a developing situation. This news breaking through around about an hour ago, about an hour and a half ago to 2 hours ago. WWE issued a statement. This came from their corporate division saying that they were going to be releasing talent. We did a video on the subject, and at that point there hadn't been any names announced. And then out of the blue, about an hour ago, the tweet that you can see on screen saying that Drake Maverick, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, EC3, and Lio Rush had all been released. Now, those were the first names that we saw that had been announced. Seemed a little bit strange to me that Karl Anderson had been let go, but Gallows hadn't. Seemed a little strange to me as well that Curt Hawkins had been let go and Zack Ryder hadn't. And obviously, we're now starting to get information coming through of additional names that have now been let go. And you can see those additional names at the bottom of the screen. So those additional names include the likes of Kurt Angle and Eric Young and Aiden English and Sarah Logan. Again, just a reminder that these are confirmed. These are confirmed by WWE. This is not speculation. These are actual names that have been confirmed. So Heath Slater, Kurt Angle, Luke Gallows getting confirmed, Eric Young, Aiden English, Sarah Logan, Mike Chioda, Epico and Primo, Rowan and Mike Kanellis. Now, additional to this as well is the fact that there are 8 producers that have been furloughed. That's the latest news from the dirt sheets, that they've been furloughed, which might explain as to why they aren't being included in the announcements. So it's Finley, it's Mike Rotunda, it's Shane Helm, Lance Storm, Kidman, Pat Buck, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock. Now, latest news we've got on those names, those producers, the backstage talent, is that those are furloughed. So it might be that they're able to be brought back. Right, let's jump back into the chat. What is AJ going to do now? Kurt Angle has been released, yes. As we said, that announcement scrolling along the bottom of the screen. Refresh the article. I will refresh the article. Randy Orton. No, they wouldn't do. They wouldn't let go Randy Orton. Kurt Angle, Drake Maverick, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Rowan, Sarah Logan, Mike Chioda, Mike Kanellis, EC3, Aiden English, Lio Rush, Primo, and Epico. So no further updates at this stage. Black Shade, that is the refresh. That's the very, very latest news that I've got. Now, obviously, the dirt sheets at the moment probably going into overdrive. But I don't think they're going to be hearing a great deal more than what's being confirmed. The way that this looks to me is that WWE are currently on the phone to people, or hopefully have finished now. I mean, we don't know when this is going to be finishing, or when this is going to end, but hopefully they've finished, and then we can take stock, because right now I can't even begin to get my head around this. Cedric Alexander has said, "Thank you, Kurt. Every moment that I was able to work with you was a true honor." Kurt Angle saying, "I just Wanted to say thank you to the WWE for the time that I spent there. I made many new friends, and I had the opportunity to work with so many talented people. To the Superstars, continue to entertain the WWE Universe as well as you possibly can. They're the best fans in the world. I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of tears shed over this. This is Aleister Black has tweeted out that he has got a heavy heart. Ali has sent a message out saying, lift up the fallen. Drake Maverick has posted a video, which I'll just show you a little clip of here so that you can really see the emotion, and maybe that will, for some of you that haven't seen this, you can just see some of the emotion that's out there right now. You can see that he is very emotional, very upset. Dolph Ziggler says, awesome wrestlers lost their jobs today. In the midst of everything that's going on, it may not mean a lot to you, and that's okay. But it means a lot to me. If you can, root for them. Check out their Pro Wrestling Tees page. Book a cameo. And if you have a favourite independent pro wrestler having a rough time, then share their information. Killian Dane says, they say that you should never meet your heroes. Fit Finlay is mine. And he proved that statement wrong 1,000,000 times over. Will Ospreay says, it's actually heartbreaking to see Drake Maverick's video. Fightful Wrestling reporting that Mike Chioda had been with WWE since 1989. It could be a case that we'd seen him on screen since around 92, but yeah, 1989. So again, you know, this isn't just jobs. This is people's dreams. This, for a lot of people, is all people know. I mean, where was you in 1989? Because Mike Chioda was starting work with WWE. And today, he lost that job. We could go on. There's tons and tons and tons of messages. As you can imagine, this has rocked the wrestling world. It really has rocked the wrestling world. Lance Storm saying, my best to all who, like me, lost their jobs today. Now, I've got some confusion on this because Lance Storm is on a furloughed list, so I don't know what that means. He's certainly implying that he has lost his job, but that hasn't been announced by WWE. To those still on the job, hold down the fort for us. It was my pleasure to work with you all these past 4 months. I hope we will get a chance to work together again. Stay strong and stay safe. Very, very, very emotional stuff. Very emotional stuff right now. And I'm sure if, like me, your thoughts are absolutely with all of those that are affected. I'm just going to jump back just to make sure that there's... no, I don't want anyone else. I didn't want this. All of these. Thankfully, nothing yet. Michael says, Days, is there more to be announced? We don't know. Maria Kanellis now. Cesaro being rumoured. People saying that Maria has been let go. I've got to be honest. That would be... Yes, confirmed. Confirmed. Maria Kanellis is now been released as well. Another name to add. So, Mike and Maria. So, again, sorry to keep doing this, but I mean, as you can imagine, there's people that obviously, you know, are just finding out about this news, maybe been watching Disney Plus or something, and I mean, imagine that. I mean, this news really started to come through just a couple of hours ago. Imagine just now finding out, you'd been, I don't know, doing something baking or, doing a bit of gardening or something, and you pop into the house and all of a sudden jump onto Twitter and see that the wrestling world is literally on fire as we speak. So, if you are just joining us, then news that Drake Maverick, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, EC3, Lio Rush, as well as the names scrolling along the bottom, all losing their jobs today. So we've got the likes of Kurt Angle, Gallows, who was announced after. Again, just speculation on my part, but maybe they just couldn't get hold of him at the time. Heath Slater, which I think is devastating. I mean, it's devastating that all of these people were let go, but I was a genuine fan of Heath Slater. I was really hoping that he was going to do something now that Drew McIntyre was champion. Eric Young, Aiden English as well. Sarah Logan, which I think is probably a really big surprise. Certainly one of the biggest names on this because we had seen her not that long ago. Mike Chioda, who'd been with WWE since '89, according to Twitter. Epico and Primo. Rowan, which I think will be a big surprise. I haven't seen actually if Bray Wyatt has spoken out. And Mike and Maria Kanellis. On top of those, the rumours are these haven't been announced by WWE. So these names haven't been announced, but the rumours are that these have been furloughed, and certainly they've made comments. Finlay and Lance Storm have come out saying that, it's a dark day for them. So Finlay, Mike Rotunda, Shane Helm, Lance Storm, Billy Kidman, Pat Buck, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock. Right, I'm going to jump back into the chat. People saying Shinsuke. Again, just wait for it to be confirmed. Wait for it to be confirmed. Bray tweeted, yuck. Certainly nothing on the article in regards to Shinsuke. So hopefully that's just fake news. I still can't believe that WWE have posted that about Big Show being slammed. This was 18 minutes ago, and it still has not been taken down. It's an absolute disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. Renee Young. I've not heard that. No Renee Young confirmed. No Nakamura confirmed. Cheesy, we're just using the WWE website. I do want to just confirm for people that this is confirmed, genuine information. This is not speculation. This is nothing but 100% from WWE. The post you can see on screen has come from their Twitter account. The names that you can see scrolling along the bottom have come from WWE.com. So if you go to WWE.com, then you'll see that there was an article on there. And that article has got all of these names on there. And so that's where these have come from. Sean Ross saying that Fit Finlay has been crucial to the WWE women's division. I know that he had done a lot of work with them. Paige saying that my heart is breaking for my wrestling family. Kayla Braxton. I mean, I would say that the Drake Maverick's got 21,000 likes, nearly 5,000 retweets, 3,000 messages of support because his post is heartbreaking. The video that Drake Maverick has shared out is absolutely heartbreaking. Kayla Braxton Braxton saying, you quickly went from being a co-worker to one of my close friends. You are such a good person, one of the best. And I know that things will end up working out for you even better than you could have imagined. I'm so thankful to have gotten to have worked with you. I hope that we get chance to do it again. I said that I thought it was very strange that WWE were going to allow him to continue in that tournament considering he'd been let go. I think whatever he wants to do, to be honest, is the right call. That message is heartbreaking, and it's no surprise to me that he is one of the people that is going to really take this the hardest, because I'd seen, as I said, interviews with him where he was just like a kid in a candy shop. He very much was someone that was living his dream. For him to get to the WWE was the boyhood dream come true, and he was absolutely loving it. So this is going to be very, very hard for a lot of people, but I can't say that I'm too surprised by what we're seeing from Drake Maverick there. Let's jump back into the chat. As we said, we don't know what else we've got coming up. Where is Sarah Logan? Yeah, I've not seen a comment from Sarah Logan. I'm not sure how active she is on social media, to be honest. I mean, you've got to wonder in regards to what this is going to do to a lot of the other superstars. I mean, Sarah Logan's been let go. How are the Viking Raiders going to be feeling about that? You know, are they going to want to be sticking around? No comments from Sarah Logan. And as I said, I think she is definitely going to be one of the bigger surprises, because out of all of the names, she was one that was very active very recently. No comments from the likes of Liv Morgan. I wondered if she was going to say anything about Sarah Logan being released. WWE, as written so many times in the last month, was the one company in MMA, wrestling, or boxing that was best equipped to ride this out based on TV deals, cash on hand, and lack of debt. That coming from Dave Meltzer. So Dave Meltzer saying that WWE is one of the companies that was best equipped to deal with this, which makes this even more shocking. If WWE are going to these steps and they're one of the companies that are best placed for this, then that really does show you what icebergs are lying ahead for other companies, which is why I'm not sure you could look at this and say that AEW are going to be picking up a load of people, because they've got to be looking at their own roster right now, wondering if they can afford to continue with the roster they've got, let alone add more to it. And I think that NWA could be doing that as well. Impact also. This is quite interesting from Dave Meltzer. People acting. So someone commented, people are acting like WWE is the only big company that had to do this. A lot of big companies are losing money right now. At the end of the day, this is business. So that's a comment that someone's made. Dave Meltzer has replied, they didn't have to do this. They have $500 million cash reserves and giant TV deals. They chose to do this. If they were losing money, it would be very different. This is not a restaurant with no cash reserves, not being able to keep its waiters, chefs, and waitresses. So Dave Meltzer very much saying that this is through choice rather than through necessity. Right, if you are joining us, the names on screen are the names that have been confirmed. This will go down as one of the darkest days in WWE history. This is the biggest release of talent in a single day that I can ever recall. I don't remember anything like this. There's certainly been days where there's been a lot of talent, like 7, 8 names that have been released. Currently, we're on around about 16, 17 names, with another 8 that seemingly been furloughed. I'm just going to go back to the article because obviously we've been reading and hearing a little bit from Dave Meltzer, hearing a little bit from the Superstars as well. So I'm just going to go back and double check that there's no other names that have been added. Certainly by the looks of it, there hasn't. And over on the Twitter account, I think it looks like we are up to date with that as well. The Surge says WWE had to do it. I think that they probably had to make a move. They might have 500 million in cash reserves, but I don't know if they've even been starting to dip into that. I mean, how much have they had to spend so far with what have they lost from WrestleMania? What have they lost by trying to put on another WrestleMania? What have they lost by flying people in to do the live shows that they're contracted to do? What about the loss to revenue from ticket sales and things along those lines? So, yes, they have 500 million in reserves, but I don't know if they're not already dipping into that. They could be sitting here saying, okay, we've lost X amount in the past couple of months. If we go another couple of months in this situation, where will we be then? And if they've looked at it, and the end result is we've got to let go X amount of people, then this is where we are. So could they survive with these people right now? Yeah, I believe they could. I believe they do still have cash reserves. They've even said they have cash reserves. They said it in their announcement earlier. But this could be to do with future projections. This could all be to do with looking with one eye to the future, with what does the future hold, you know? Coaster Maniacs says, is Lars Sullivan still in WWE? Zack Ryder, Iconics, not the Iconics. Bray, yeah, they won't lose Bray. Oh, not the Iconics. I mean, I don't want to lose anyone, but I'm a Billy Kay, Peyton Royce. I do really enjoy those guys. Zack Ryder. Wow. Zack Ryder has now been confirmed. Zack Ryder has now also been let go. Zack Ryder has gone. Zack Ryder has now gone. I don't know when this is going to end. I don't know when this is going to end. Wow. Please can you explain the Big Show article? I haven't seen a Big Show article. I haven't seen anything in regards to the Big Show. Zack Ryder confirmed, yeah. Couldn't they have done pay cuts? I honestly don't know. I know. I mean, if you've been watching, that Zack Ryder, by the way, is confirmed. That has been confirmed by WWE. Could they have done pay cuts? I don't know. My gut feeling would be yes. My gut feeling would be that they could have done a degree of pay cuts, but I don't know. I mean, honestly, I can't. Where are the big contracts going to come from? I mean, could it be that Ronda? I'm just speaking out loud now, but could it be that Ronda was speaking out the other day because she was meant to return, and they now know that she can't return? Could it be that she now feels that she's free to speak out? Could it be that she's not going to be returning because they know that they can't afford that big contract? I mean, can you imagine the backlash? And I'm not even just talking about anger. I'm talking about people abandoning WWE. People actually no longer continuing to watch. Could you imagine the backlash if they bring Ronda in with a big money deal, or they bring in Tyson Fury, or they bring anyone in on a big money deal, because that money could have gone towards this talent that gave so much and has been seemingly treated so poorly. Dale Creasy says, everyone's saying Zack Ryder is gone. That is confirmed. Again, just a reminder to people watching, the information that's on screen is confirmed. This is not speculation. I'm not getting this from any third parties. The information you're seeing on screen has come direct from WWE. This is from their own website. This is from WWE.com. So this information is confirmed. People saying no way Jose has gone now. I don't know what this is. I don't know when this ends. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. I wish I could sit here and be really professional, and I wish that I could bring you this information very much like the news. But as a wrestling fan, to see the company getting decimated, I mean, they've got a lot of talent on the books. Like, they've got a lot of talent, but to see these, these people no one deserves this. No one deserves this, and I've never seen anything like this before. This is completely, will go down in history. Black Wednesday is what we're looking at. No way Jose has now been confirmed. Okay, well, I'm gonna click on the link. We've got Kurt Angle, Drake Maverick, Zack Ryder, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Rowan, Sarah Logan, Mike Chioda, Mike and Maria, EC3, Aiden, Lio Rush, Primo and Epico. I haven't got No Way Jose confirmed yet. Once it comes through on the official website, then I will. Let me refresh it, 'cause people are saying it, so I believe you. But it just takes a few moments, seemingly, to come through here in the UK. Alternative Ultimate says Brock Lesnar's getting paid $10 million. I'm not going to begrudge it of Brock Lesnar, in all fairness, because obviously the reason why these cuts have happened, I believe, is because of the coronavirus and COVID-19, and Lesnar's contract was obviously done before we hit this iceberg. I would hope that they would renegotiate that, bring that down. I think that this is going to be a very different world after coronavirus. Certainly they're saying that in regards to sport, in regards to football here in the UK, you're going to see a lot of wages and transfers that are going to be greatly reduced, much, much lower than what we've seen before. And I think you're going to see that. And hopefully you see that in the wrestling world as well, because this should have been avoided. You would think that this should have been avoided, but it looks like the money that's been put aside for a rainy day wasn't enough for just how rainy this situation has got. Obviously, Dave Meltzer, if you saw earlier, we read out Dave Meltzer's tweet. Dave Meltzer reporting that he didn't believe that this was through necessity. This was more through choice. I would find it very difficult to believe that WWE would choose to release all of these people. I don't know. I think if there was a way for them to retain this level of talent, I think they would have, to be honest. This is heartbreaking. There's nothing else that you can say. It is heartbreaking. Let me refresh, and No Way Jose should be confirmed, because as I said, I believe there's enough of you saying it for it to be true. Yeah, it is confirmed. No Way Jose is on the site now. So let's add No Way Jose. Seriously, I'm going to start running out of space. Let's go down here. No Way Jose. I don't even know how they put on an NXT show tonight. I mean, I know that seemingly there's no NXT talent that's been affected, and to be honest, I find that amazing. But I suppose their contracts are so minimal that it doesn't necessarily make a massive amount of difference. Lio Rush, I suppose, technically was NXT, but we know he'd been to the main roster before. So yeah, I don't know how do we focus on wrestling tonight? I mean, this is one of the most shocking things I've seen in wrestling. I can't think of anything that really necessarily compares to what we're seeing right now, and you know, to try and watch wrestling tonight, I just don't even know how we do it. I don't even know if they should do it, to be honest. I don't know. All right, let's try and Ryder. Zack Ryder, Kurt Angle, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Aiden English, Sarah Logan, Mike Chioda, Primo and Epico, Rowan, Mike and Maria Kanellis, and No Way Jose, as well as Drake Maverick, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, EC3, and Lio Rush. I mean, you could build a fantastic promotion just with those names. You've got tag teams, you've got, you know, some great wrestlers in there, some great experience. And then on top of all of that, we have seemingly got 8 producers that have been furloughed. So Finley, Billy Kidman, Mike Rotunda, Pat Buck, Shane Helm, Scott Armstrong, Lance Storm, and Sarah Stock. So those names as well seemingly affected. Aiden was not very good on commentary. AOP, Murphy, Kairi Sane, and Sullivan are now confirmed. Murphy and Akam. People are saying Murphy quite a bit. Apollo Crews. I don't know what's. I don't know how this is going to end. Buddy Murphy confirmed. This is all. I'm not seeing Buddy Murphy confirmed. I don't know how they do a wrestling show after this. I seriously don't know how they'd put on a wrestling show after this. No. Anador says, I hate this. It's a dark day for any wrestling fan. I completely agree. Is Jinder safe? Jinder has not been announced. I've not seen any news of Jinder. Robert Roode has not been announced. I've seen no rumours for Robert Roode. WWE Boy asking, where are you seeing this? There was one tweet that was sent out by WWE. So one tweet has been sent out from them. That tweet had the information on screen that you saw. And it also had a link. And that link takes you to WWE.com, where all of the names on screen are being... It's basically an ongoing list. I think as they're contacting people, they are adding the names to the list. So I'm going to jump over to Buddy Murphy and just see if he's tweeted anything out and see where these rumours are coming from. So if I type in Murphy, WWE, because it seemed like a few people were reporting that. I can't see anything saying about Murphy on Twitter. So I've got nothing on Murphy at this stage. Kairi Sane has gone. That's not a lie. Akam's now confirmed. Heydays, they're releasing half of the roster. I don't know what they're releasing, mate. I don't know where this is going to end. Kairi Sane is not confirmed. I've not got Kairi Sane confirmed. And I really don't think they would release Kairi Sane. That would be a massive shock. I wouldn't be expecting Kairi Sane. The Surge says, fake news in the chat. Yeah. Can I just confirm that I've not seen half of the names that are being mentioned in the chat? I've not seen Murphy. I've not seen Kairi Sane. And I've not seen Aleister Black. The names that you see on screen are the confirmed names. And I'm not getting these names from any dirt sheets or anywhere other than WWE Direct. So, Mark Clark says, I've been a WWE fan all of my life. I feel mad and sad. I know. I'm surprised that Apollo hasn't gone. Dark Day in WWE, what are they doing? Right. So, nothing else has come through. Hopefully, I mean, I keep saying it, and genuinely, I don't know. I can't tell you how long we're streaming for. We're sticking around until we know that this is done and that everything is covered. But right now, yeah, we've got a list of around about 18. I think it's around about 18, maybe even 19, sneaking up to 20 names. We're not quite at 20, I don't believe. Certainly we are if you add the producers. So, yeah, it's incredible. This is like a day that I've never seen before. Jonathan Masters says, stop spreading false rumours or get out. So, yeah, I mean, look, all I would say is I wouldn't pay a great deal of attention to the chat unless you're seeing a lot of people saying the same names. There's no way of kind of stopping fake news being spread. That's obviously not what we're doing. All of this news, again, I know I keep reiterating it, but there's people joining us all the time. This is coming directly from WWE. You're getting live thoughts and reactions as these names are coming through. Mike Chioda obviously had been with WWE since 1989. And as we said earlier, you know, where was you in 1989? Because that's when Mike Chioda was starting his job that he lost today. Zack Ryder, we know how passionate he is about wrestling and wrestling figures. And, you know, he grew up with wrestling. So, I mean, he got to live his dream, which is cool. But it's going to be a tough day for him. So, Curt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, both gone. I remember starting this stream, actually. I started this stream, and when we started the stream, all we had was the names on screen. All we had was that one tweet. The one tweet that came and said Drake Maverick, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, EC3, and Lio Rush. And I remember saying that I've seen this before, where they do this. They put a tweet out, and then other names get announced after. They've always done it that way. And seemingly, phone conversations basically happen, and as soon as the person's been told, because they have to be told first, of course, you don't want to find out. It's not as if the superstars are logging on to WWE.com to find out if they've been released or not. So that's not how this works. But seemingly, the superstars get a phone call first, get told the news, and then WWE announce it. So I genuinely think that when we started this stream, which was around about an hour ago or whatever, coming up to an hour and 40 minutes ago, apparently. But when we started this stream, seemingly there was a lot of superstars that didn't know they was about to be let go. So even whilst we've been streaming, superstars, I genuinely believe, have been finding out on the phone that they've been let go, which is why you're seeing that list just slowly having names added to it. It's also why there's a lot of speculation right now as to why and who is being let go. It's also why there's a lot of fake news right now, because we don't know where or when this is going to end. So, Del Creasy saying, I'm sorry, but what in the actual hell is happening? I can't answer that, Dale. I don't know as to why it's as deep as this. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Gail. So Bray Wyatt says yuck. That was half an hour ago. Gail Kim says, today so many of my colleagues have lost their jobs. It's heartbreaking to watch and hear the news. I ask that everyone please take this virus seriously and follow the rules so that we can have this awful situation be dealt with quickly. I don't want to see more. Please stay home. Ryan Satin as well saying, I'm sorry to everyone whose jobs were affected today. This all sucks so much. It's a terrible, sad day. Lio Rush. Lio Rush says, I want to take a moment to reflect. Reflect on everything that I've been through since I've been employed by the WWE. The journey, the major downfalls, the uphill battles, the triumph, the recovery. I've been through so much during my time. I've learned, I've grown, I've adapted, I've overcome. I've been thrown to the wolves. Emerging leader of a pack of individuals who look up to me and admire me as a friend and a mentor, a role model and a father. I wouldn't have changed anything in my 3 years here. It has made me the man that I am today. I'm proud of my work. I'm proud to have been alongside some of the greatest ever to have done this. I'm honoured to have learned from living legends and future Hall of Famers. If there's one thing that I'm taking away from this experience, it's never sell yourself short. Always believe in yourself and your abilities and your dreams. I want to thank the staff, my co-workers, who have been nothing but generous to me. I want to thank the WWE for the opportunity for me to be a household name in an industry I've loved since I was 5. I want to thank the fans who have stuck by me and supported me through all the ups and downs. And I also want to thank the ones who have constantly put me down because it lit a fire beneath me that I needed in order to excel in life. Powerful. I'm not sure that Tony Khan is going to be celebrating, to be honest. I don't think that they may pick up some of these names, but WWE did have money reserves, and honestly, if WWE, who are sat on $500 million big TV deals, are looking at this situation and deciding that they need to let go of some talent, then you've got to think that other companies are doing the same. I mean, I again, at the start of this stream, we spoke about the fact that there are companies here in the UK that are now going into administration, that are folding, that are going under as a result of the coronavirus. And we are now not only seeing the health impact of the virus, but now we're starting to really feel and really see the economical impact that it's going to have as well. People losing their jobs and you fear that this is just the beginning of all of this as well. So horrible. Wrestling Observer. WWE furloughs 9 producers. Okay, I've got 8 on my list, so I'm not sure who the other one is. Let's have a look. WWE announced financial changes on Wednesday in an effort to improve cash flow during the economic downturn caused by the global coronavirus pandemic. As of writing, WWE has released more than 20 in-ring talents and former in-ring talents like Kurt Angle, Luke Gallows, Karl Anderson, EC3, Mike and Maria Kanellis, and much more. Kidman and Finlay had been with WWE since they were acquired with WCW in 2001, whilst Storm, Daivari, Buck and Helms were all part of hirings in the past few years. So they're really focused on... So they've got Lance Storm, Billy Kidman, Mike Rotunda, Finlay, Pat Buck, Sean Daivari. Is that the name I've missed off? I think that's the name I've missed off. And I have read that before. Sean Daivari. Yeah, Sean Daivari was the name I'd missed. So 9 producers furloughed. So there's potential for them to return, of course. Right, I'm just going to go back, because it's been a little while since we went onto the WWE site. I'm just going to have a look and see if any of the names have been confirmed. I'm seriously hoping that is it now. I'm seriously hoping that is it. So, Kurt Angle, Drake Maverick, Zack Ryder, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Rowan, Sarah Logan, No Way Jose, Mike Chioda, Mike and Maria Kanellis, EC3, Aiden English, Lio Rush, Epico, and Primo. Those are the names that are on the confirmed list. No one else has been added at this stage, so could be it. Black Wednesday. Could be Black Wednesday, absolutely, yeah. Jeff Hardy has not been released. Jeff Hardy is not one of the names that's on that list, no. Jacob B. Snow says, this is madness. I agree. Cameron says, this goes beyond wrestling. This is people's livelihoods. It's absolutely devastating. Jamesy says, I think that's going to be it. Bala de God YT says, Dave Meltzer reporting that another wave could be coming. Ryder released, asked Jackson Oak. Yes, Zack Ryder has been released. Mickey James released. Do you know what? Interestingly, I haven't seen that name announced. I've not seen Mickey James being reported. C Wrestling, shout out to you, Dave Meltzer, reporting that more could be coming. Okay, seems like they're, I believe what people are saying. I certainly believe what C Wrestling, a great friend of the channel, is saying. Dave Meltzer saying, this was an hour ago, but he says, this has been such a sad day on so many levels. A lot of good, hard-working people have lost their jobs at the worst time possible. Keep in mind that this was a company with $500 million in cash reserves and was still expected, without it, to turn a significant profit this year. Dave Meltzer absolutely sticking the knife in. I genuinely don't know if they had started to dig into those reserves. That's the truth. I genuinely don't know, but he certainly feels like this was done out of choice rather than out of necessity. Dave Meltzer, 1 minute ago, says, a big under-the-radar story is all the different Japanese companies together today meeting with government officials. The companies went together to show solidarity and made very reasoned requests to protect the health and finances of talent. They asked little for themselves. Again, Dave Meltzer sticking the knife in. WWE sent out a release with that figure less than a month ago. Another wave coming. Yeah, there will be few who get jobs, but most will not. There's no indie work at all, says Dave Meltzer. And the existing companies can't afford to hire lots of people. A few may get work, but nobody is hiring a lot right now. This is true. A lot of people are saying that, you know, this talent could all go to AEW, and I'm sorry, it's not that way. It's not that way. You are not going to be seeing a lot of talent. Yes, certainly a couple of names. I would feel that someone like Sarah Logan in particular would do a great job in AEW's women division. I think that she can go and get a job. You could potentially even look at Ryder and Hawkins as people that are very passionate about wrestling figures, and, you know, people with experience and, you know, name value. Maybe AEW would give them a little contract, what with their figures coming up. You know, I could see there being some benefit there. You know, a nice tag team, well known, could do a job. Not going to be main eventers, but, you know, they could do a job for you. Don't give them a big contract. I'm not saying they're going to get big money, but could they offer them something? And then have them, you know, promoting the figures and everything. I could see that. I could see a few of these names getting work, but I think you've got to look at the likes of Epico and Primo and think probably they're not going to be get picked up by AEW. I think you could probably look at No Way Jose and wonder about him as well. Dale Creasy says, now how are they going to do a show? Who will they have? Well, a lot of these are talents that you don't see week in, week out, in all fairness. I don't know how they do NXT tonight. I've got no idea how we're meant to watch NXT and care. I mean, I don't care. I don't care about NXT. I can't think anyone out there does. How are you meant to watch NXT and care about NXT? How are you meant to watch AEW? I know this has got nothing to do with AEW, but how can you watch any wrestling show and necessarily care? Personally, I can't. So I genuinely don't know. I don't know where this ends. Dave Meltzer reporting that there could be another wave coming. So I don't know where this ends. And I need to have a look and see if WWE have still kept up that other post. They have. An hour ago, WWE tweeted out this top 10 Big Show slamming video whilst all of this was happening. Whilst livelihoods are being absolutely decimated, they send that message out. How absolutely tone deaf have you got to be to this situation? Incredible. Cameron says, I can see Rowan going to AEW and joining the Dark Order with Brody Lee. They always have a good connection. Monica King says, it's hard to explain to people that don't understand. Days, you streaming tonight? I will be streaming tonight, but I know what we'll be talking about. We certainly ain't going to be focusing that much on NXT and AEW. I'm sorry. We'll stream it. We'll have the stream up. We'll start at our usual time. I mean, literally, that stream starts in less than 3 hours. I still need to go and get something to eat and whatever, but it's just not a thing, is it? So yes, we are streaming tonight. We will be starting an hour before. We've certainly got plenty to talk about, and apologies to all of you that I haven't been able to really get your thoughts on this situation. I'd imagine they're very similar to my own. This is horrific. There's no other words. Horrific. This is one of the darkest days in WWE history for so many livelihoods to be ruined this way. And certainly Dave Meltzer seems very angry about the situation, saying that they had 500 million in reserve. They were going to be posting a profit. There was no need for this. Eric Haberman says, really sad news today. My heart goes out to the superstars that have been released from WWE. Johnny Hex says, at this point, it's a snowball affecting. If there's another wave, it's going to be an avalanche. Carol says, be honest, half of these releases are not going to be missed. It's business. I can't agree. Well, I can understand that a lot of these talents are people that you don't see week in, week out. But of course, it's still very upsetting to see anyone losing a job that they didn't have to lose. The big thing here is they're not being released because they're not good enough or giving their all. You know, you've got people here that are going above and beyond. Drake Maverick has posted a video where he is crying his eyes out. His heart is broken. You can say it's business, but this is only business because of the coronavirus. This is only business because of what COVID-19 has done to the economy of the world. You know, this is not an iceberg that any of us saw coming early 2020, you know. Maybe February, March time, you looked at it and we saw Italy going in lockdown. Then you started to think, well, hang on, what happens if we all go into lockdown? What does that do for people's livelihoods? But I think that's what's really upsetting about this is we're not sitting here watching people getting released because they've failed wellness policies or they're guilty of things. We're seeing people getting released because their name has been chosen. I don't even know how they've done these selections. Like, why Sarah Logan? Was she on some kind of big contract? I don't know. Why Sarah Logan out of all of the women? I mean, I'm not going to be sitting here saying why Sarah Logan rather than... I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying I've got no idea how they've picked some of these names, because someone like Sarah Logan, you know, I was expecting us to see a Riot Squad triple threat match very, very soon, but that match is not going to happen. And of course, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that match is not going to happen, but I'm saying that she's not someone I would have put on this list. Rowan as well, seemingly getting quite a push. You know, he had the cage, which obviously didn't go down that well, but he worked, I thought, a decent program with Daniel Bryan. Got moved over to Raw. They weren't too sure what to do with him. They gave him the cage. Okay, the reveal was flat, but it was certainly a talking point, and he was being used on the show regular. And okay, that fell flat a few weeks ago. And now he finds himself released. I don't understand. Mike Chioda, who'd been with WWE since 1989. Would he have been let go? I don't get it. WWE are going to need their cash reserves to produce some good pay-per-views with no ticket sales. I do think there is a degree of truth in that, to be honest. I do think that they might have even allocated a good portion of that cash reserve. I think, again, if they've spent X amount over the past couple of months and they're looking at it, and, you know, Vince obviously is working very closely with the Trump administration, so he knows, you know, all the latest news in regards to what the lockdown situation is going to look like, what the different states are saying and the governors are saying, and, you know, how it's all going to seemingly play out. So he's got all of that information and access to that information. If he spent 100-odd million to keep the show on the road, like more than he would have, and he's looking at it and he's saying, right, well, if this is going to last another 2-3 months, I mean, again, wasn't it Wrestle Talk that put that article out, that there was an expert that said that we might not even get crowds back till 2021. Now, if they're not going to have any ticket income till 2021, then that again might explain why they felt the need to go to these extremes, and that might explain why a company that's got $500 million in cash reserves has felt the need that it needs to go to these extremes. And make no mistake about it, these are absolute extremes. So I do agree that there's potential that they've already allocated a good chunk of that cash reserve. Just to touch back on that point, because it would be remiss of me to not mention that I did think that article had been blown out of proportion from Wrestle Talk, and this is absolutely no knock on Wrestle Talk. but it was one expert. It was one expert out of I don't know how many in the world saying that we might not get back to crowded shows and arena shows and concerts and things like that until we get a vaccine, and that's not expected till 2021. So take that with a pinch of salt because it's from one expert. But look, the truth is these are conversations that are being had. So yes, maybe that $500 million has been put to one side. Check Rusev's Twitter. Okay. Let's go over to Rusev because it seems like we might have some more breaking news in regards to Rusev. There's certainly people saying Rusev has gone. 3 minutes ago, thank you all, Rusev out. So there we go. This, I'm not going to put it on screen. I don't think he's going to be messing around. I know it's a little bit blurry, but there we go. It says, thank you all, Rusev out. So that coming through 3 minutes ago. Kenneth Maynard saying WWE should probably end the brand split and merge titles. This is going to be a big conversation. I mean, to be honest, a lot of this talent isn't talent that you saw week in, week out. So seemingly maybe they're taking people away that's going to still allow them to have a brand split. So I don't know. I mean, like people like the Colognes, for example. I couldn't even tell you the last time I'd seen the Colognes. Drake Maverick wasn't someone that we saw on the main roster. Sarah Logan, as we said, I think for me is a surprise. Rowan as well. Aiden English was a commentator for 205 Live. Zack Ryder and Hawkins, you didn't see that often. Obviously, Karl Anderson and Gallows. Big shock, big part of the OC, but not enough to end a brand split. Mike and Maria Kanellis not up on the main roster, so I think you can definitely look at the names that have been chosen and see a similarity. I think if Rusev, I mean, it seems like Rusev, from what he's just said there, thank you all, Rusev out. It seems like Rusev is about to be announced. If Rusev goes, you would think that Lana would go as well. Again, a reminder, I wouldn't start thinking that all of these people are going to end up going to AEW. WWE were in a very good position. A very good position. Seemingly, they had good money reserves. They had good money coming in, and they've still felt that they've needed to go to these situations, these extremes. Why were they released? Well, they were released so that they could free up money. Basically, they need to make they are aiming to make a $4 million saving a month. They're also looking to free up $140 million in cash flow, so money that they can use rather than it being tied up in contracts. So they're trying to, free up all of these finances. I can tell you that, so that's the reason for it. It came from an article that was released earlier. No Rusev confirmed yet. Please check Sarah Logan's Twitter now. Well, we know that Sarah Logan is someone that has been released. Again, the information that's on screen, because there are people that's joining us all the time, the information that's on screen is accurate. This is correct. It's come from WWE directly. This is not speculation. I've got nothing on Sarah Logan's Twitter. CM Punk not going to WWE. Surprised the Iconics haven't gone. Lindsay Dorado. No news on that. Savio Vega. If there are cuts coming to NXT, we probably won't hear about them until after the show tonight, says Corpse Hatch. That's a fair point. Wait, is Liv Morgan also released? No, not yet. Anyway, there's been no news, but seemingly they're still continuing to release people. We're still getting information coming through in regards to people that are being released. Rusev, just 7 minutes ago, saying thank you all, Rusev out. So that was 7 minutes ago. So seemingly Rusev. I won't check people's Twitters. I don't want to keep going on to people's Twitters because I've been to a couple of people's Twitters now and there's no information on there. So I'm not going to go running around Twitter. Zack Ryder is confirmed, yes. Zack Ryder is confirmed. Ember Moon, there's no news on Ember Moon. There's no news on Mandy Rose. There's no news on Rhea Ripley. So, again, just be very, very careful with where you're getting your information from because there's definitely a lot of fake news that's out there right now, which is a real shame that people feel that now's the time to do that. But equally, I think we can all agree that not very surprising because there's a lot of people with too much time on their hands and no constructive way to use it. So very serious and disappointing day, as we said, one of the darkest days in the history of WWE. Still waiting to see if Rusev is going to be confirmed on WWE.com. He obviously has tweeted out that his goodbye, but nothing been added to that list yet. Happy Foe says, I think that Kalisto could be released. Ashley Drury says, honestly, I'm really shocked. I feel the company is deteriorating. I feel for everyone. I absolutely second that. Michael says 2020 sucks. I agree. Completely agree. Eric Haberman says, I wish we could have a redo of 2020. To be honest, mate, I don't want to have to go through this again. I really hope that the world learns lessons, big lessons from this pandemic, because we don't know if another pandemic or when another pandemic could come along. Hopefully not within our lifetimes, but you just don't know, do you? And hopefully the world will be much better prepared next time for when this occurs. Still no news on Rusev. As I said, if no news on Ali, Michael, nothing for Ali. 2-goal Ivanovic, no news on Kyrie. So I would be very surprised if they let Kyrie go. It was actually only this morning that I heard the news that Vince was very high and hot on Asuka. Was a big fan of the work that Asuka had been doing. Obviously, since they'd moved to the Performance Center, Asuka has been front and center. She's been very visible, used on the shows a lot, and she is someone that very much has been a shining light, a beacon of hope, a beacon of positivity. Her dancing, her segments have been turned into like little social media gifs and things like that. So I kind of feel that she was someone that Vince was a big fan of. So I'd be very surprised if he would let Kairi Sane go, because I think he sees a lot of potential in Asuka, and you would think in the Kabuki Warriors as a result. Asuka safe, yes, I would think that Asuka is safe. Dave Meltzer reporting though that more are coming. So yeah, I mean, I'm reluctant to. All releases are from Raw, says Danny Boy. Not sure that's true. Sarah Logan, Aiden English isn't Raw because he's a commentator. Angle's not really connected to anything. I couldn't even tell you what brand Heath Slater was on, to be honest. Colognes, we don't see him that often. Is there anyone on here actually from SmackDown? It's a good point. They're not all from Raw because obviously EC3, I couldn't even tell you what brand he was on. Lio Rush was technically down in NXT. But you do make a good point that seemingly there's no SmackDown stars here. Could you imagine if this is like halfway or something along those lines? I can't can't believe that. I don't believe that, but wow. What a day. I've honestly never seen anything like this. I don't think any of us have ever seen anything like this. Heath was on SmackDown, was he? I'll be the first to admit, I honestly can't recall. When you see stars so infrequently, it's hard to remember who's where. Days, Sarah Logan's Instagram. Okay, just feel free to tell me what's on it. As I said, I want to try and keep an eye on the latest tweets and things like that. Rusev has definitely tweeted out his goodbyes. Yes, Rusev has said his goodbyes. Johnny Gargano 16 minutes ago said today sucks. Rikishi replying to Drake Maverick saying keep your head up. Mandy Rose 33 minutes ago said what a sad day for my WWE family. Stay strong, everyone. Keep your heads up. Alexa Bliss says, I don't cry, but I'm crying my eyes out after this. And she's connected it to Drake Maverick's post. If you've not seen Drake Maverick's post, it's probably the post that people are talking about the most. Drake Maverick, very emotional, very upset. Very real emotion. And you can really see how much it meant to him. Sonia Deville says, my heart is breaking. For everyone affected right now, stay strong and stay positive. It's incredible. It's incredible. Sam Roberts, bad news keeps coming in from WWE. Hard to explain how talented and good a lot of these folks are, including the people behind the scenes that won't get reported on. That's a really good point from Sam Roberts. It's a really good point because WWE are announcing on-screen talent, but I don't know if they have to announce. They don't have to announce all the names of the backstage admin people that they're letting go as well. And you would imagine that they'd be letting go, from every division. I should imagine they're not just scaling down talent. I'd imagine this is, happening at their head office also. C179 says, I really hope that Rusev is trolling. I don't think he will. This is too serious. His release would be the saddest to me. No. I genuinely don't. I think if Rusev is trolling, then that would be horrific. So I genuinely don't think he would do that. This is far too serious. Yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. The Twitter has obviously gone into meltdown. Throughout the stream, we've been reading a lot of posts that people have been putting up, but it's really hard to put into words. Just how dark of a day today is. Let's go back to the WWE.com article, and Rusev has now been confirmed. Rusev is actually now the image for the list of names confirmed. So again, if you just want to see where this information is coming from, then you can see the list on screen right there. So Rusev has now been confirmed. Kurt Angle, Rusev, Drake Maverick, Zack Ryder, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Rowan, Sarah Logan, No Way Jose, Mike Chioda, Mike Kanellis, Maria Kanellis, EC3, Aiden English, Lio Rush, Primo, and Epico. Amazingly, is that all of the names? Are all of the names on there? Did I read out everyone that's on that screen as well? Curt Hawkins, Drake Maverick. Did I mention Karl Anderson? Yes. Lio Rush, yes. EC3. So the current list stands at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we are now at 20 confirmed names. So if you are joining us, 20 names, 20 superstars have been let go from the WWE. The latest one just moments ago, Rusev has left WWE. He has been released from WWE. So Rusev has gone. Also, in addition to that, 9 producers have been furloughed. So we don't know what their futures are going to look like. Seemingly, they could be brought back, but maybe not. Those are Fit Finlay, Mike Rotunda, Shane Helms, Lance Storm, Sean Daivari, Billy Kidman, Pat Buck, Scott Armstrong, and Sarah Stock. So there we go. How long before AEW start releasing talent? Honestly, I hope they don't. I really, really hope they don't. People saying Ember Moon confirmed. She's not confirmed. She's not confirmed. Again, if you are just joining us, this information that you're seeing on screen has come directly from WWE. This is not speculation. This is not from any other news sources or anything along those lines. This information is from WWE themselves. So, Rusev, Ryder, Angle, Gallows. For me, Rusev is a real surprise. Rusev is a real surprise. I was not expecting Rusev to be added to that list. Rusev is someone that seemingly has had contract disputes with WWE. Rusev is someone that has been not on and off with WWE, but you know, he's definitely someone that hasn't signed his contract the quickest. And I can understand because he's not felt like he's been given the opportunities that he deserves. So, I'm still amazed that he's one of the names that's been released. Let's put it that way. I'm still absolutely amazed that he is one of the names that's gone. Let me try and bring up the chat and see what people are saying in the chat as well. Kalisto, there's no Kalisto. WWE could have just released Lesnar to have saved some money. What about Bo Dallas? No news on Bo Dallas. The New Day or Pete Dunne, there's no news on those. WWE have updated their alumni segment. Honestly, these names that you're seeing on screen, they could form a fantastic federation all on their own. They absolutely could form a fantastic federation all on their own. So I do think that if there's money like the AEW have got, I could see AEW definitely picking up Rusev. I think Rusev would be someone that they would be very, very interested in. But we still don't know if they can afford their own talent, to be honest. We don't know if we're not going to see any releases coming from AEW. Plus, also, we don't even know if we're done here. We don't even know if this is the end. It's been pointed out by the chat that all the names we've seen so far are NXT behind the scenes or Raw. Outside of potentially Heath Slater, there doesn't seem to be many SmackDown names that we've seen come through yet. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what we're gonna see here, or where this is gonna end. Let's jump back into the chat. 205 live. Rusev and Rowan could be AEW bound. What about if they just release everybody? That's basically what they're doing here. No Way Jose has posted a video. Obviously, we can't watch these videos, but I'm very interested to see where he is or what he's saying. Yeah, very somber looking video from No Way Jose as well. Seems to have... So, there we go. Thank you, C Wrestling. There is No Way Jose speaking. So, if you want to hear what No Way Jose has got to say, you can jump over to his Twitter account. If you want to hear what Drake Maverick's probably the one that people are talking about the most. Drake Mavericks was very emotional from what I've seen. There's loads. There's absolutely loads of posts that are coming through, as you can imagine. Duckman26 Quack says, I'm sorry, but how is Brian Kendrick still employed? We don't know what deal he's got or what kind of money he's on, or, you know, I mean, they could have released Brian Kendrick and it might not have actually made any difference to their budget, whereas Rusev, you know, might be on a serious contract. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to sit here and speculate why is such and such not being released, because you don't want to see anyone getting released. The comment that we made earlier was that these people are all people that seemingly would have still had a job if it wasn't for the coronavirus. Now, I know that they do tend to part ways with some talent around this time. So maybe there could have been a few people that they would have parted ways with, but they honestly, if they didn't have to, I don't think they would have. They really weren't looking at allowing talent to leave and go to benefit AEW, you know. I mean, like, it seems like now we're starting to really understand why the Revival were allowed to go, because there was big rumors that it was on their contract. Was it Dash Wilder had like another 8 weeks that he had to see out, but instead they just allowed them to leave with immediate effect. So seems like they just want to get things off the books and, you know, really clean house a little bit here, and that's definitely what they're doing. I mean, there's a lot of house cleaning going on. Lars Sullivan needs to go. Days, do you think Lana will be released? I would think so. I mean, seemingly, you know, I can't see her wanting to go to work for WWE if Rusev isn't there. I can't see any reason as to why she would do that. So, yeah. Shout out to Vape Ross Vape. Charlie Swan says, No Way Jose is so positive. I love him. Noor says, this is the darkest day in the wrestling world. These guys have got good history. Sunny Wolf says, this is the weirdest day ever. What about Mojo Rowley? He hasn't been released. Dolph released. Dolph hasn't been released. Shout out to Mr. Wrestling Figs. Lana just signed a 5-year deal. Seemingly, they're allowing people out of those contracts. They're releasing people from those contracts. There's probably some kind of clause in there that allows them to pay X amount of money to void the contract. I would imagine there's some kind of a get-out clause or a buyout clause or some sort of clause. So I would imagine that if they needed to, they could get rid of Lana. Even if she has just signed a 5-year deal. Alexander from NXT has tweeted his goodbye. He never even got a chance to debut. Yeah, I'm not sure if that kind of talent, the kind of talent that was signed but never really appeared, you know, like was working at the Performance Center but never got a chance to debut. If they get let go, they might not announce that. So, yeah, I mean, seemingly there's going to be talent that's being released that we might not even hear about. And certainly, you know, behind the scenes talent. a lot of cameramen and people like that could be working behind the scenes that we won't find out about, may never hear about. Jonathan Masters says, I've got the article monitored for updates. Dolph is a big name, so maybe not. I don't know. Will Jeff Hardy be released? I wouldn't think so. This is breaking my heart. I met Rusev this past November in Glasgow. He was such a nice person. He doesn't deserve this. None of them do. But I totally get your point, Ben. I totally get your point. Anna Dawes says, there is too many released. My mind can't comprehend it. I'm so upset that they have lost their livelihoods. C Wrestling says, let's not forget that the Revival were just released as well. Ashley Drury saying, please can we not put stuff unless it is absolutely confirmed. I agree with that. Rusev has been confirmed. Yes, they are. They're even using Rusev's picture on the WWE.com account. So yes, Rusev is sadly confirmed. Nails and NY, thank you for joining us as well, my friend. Such a horrific circumstances. Obviously, a stream that we never expected to do. News that we certainly didn't expect to deliver. And seemingly we don't know when this news is going to end. It was only 10 minutes ago that we found out the news about Rusev. We've been saying it all throughout the stream as well, that people are seemingly getting phone calls. Seems to be that people are being called up and told of the news. And they're literally finding out whilst we're streaming. So we don't even know if... there's other phone calls that are taking place. Certainly didn't take very long from Rusev tweeting out to WWE confirming it. So, again, I think you've just seen. Like, Rusev gets told, he tweets it, and then moments later they post it on WWE.com. So, I should imagine that a lot of superstars right now are sitting there just in dread. Just dreading the phone ringing. How many guess how many will wind up in AEW? It could be zero. I don't think people really understand the economic impact that this is having. It could be that AEW have got to let go of some of their stars, not pick up some of these, but let go of some of theirs, because they are also a new company that's missing out on vital ticket sales. That's a company that's missing out on potential merch sales from the shows, sponsorship deals, and, don't forget as well that they've got meet and greets, and they get paid to do certain things that they can't, fulfill. So, they're missing out on a lot of sponsorships and things like that now. Granted, they've got the Khan family behind them, but WWE has got the McMahons behind them. WWE had $500 million in cash reserves, and yet WWE still feel the need to release 20 superstars and furlough 9 producers, and we still don't know if it's finished. So, look, could AEW let people go? Yeah, they could. They could. Equally, could AEW be all right? Yes. I would think that AEW would be interested in Sarah Logan and Rusev. Maybe Gallows and Anderson. I mean, AEW love their tag team wrestling, and Gallows and Anderson have got such a rich history, but honestly, I fear that the vast majority are going to struggle to get a job in the wrestling world. And what Dave Meltzer was saying is that there are no jobs in indie wrestling. Companies are closing. Indie wrestling is full as it is. You can't just drop 20 superstars into indie wrestling and expect that they're going to be able to make a living. So I completely agree with I can't remember who said it. I can't remember what superstar said it, but they said it very, very well. Make sure that you are buying merch from the likes of Pro Wrestling Tees. Make sure that you are supporting your favorite superstars because they need your support now more than ever. Anna Dawes says, please, if you can support these guys, buy the shirts on Wrestling Tees. Help these guys however you can. They depend on us. Dude, I completely agree. Coaster Maniacs says, it's not about who should or shouldn't be losing what they love to do over something none of us was ready for. Yeah, I completely agree. I definitely don't want to be sitting here saying such and such should go instead of such and such, because no one should go. I think everyone that you're seeing has worked hard, given their all, you know, tried their best, tried to give you great wrestling, you know, and they're not guilty of wellness policy violations, you know, they're not being let go for those kinds of reasons because they're not trustworthy or anything like that. They're being let go because of the economic impact that COVID-19 has had on WWE and seemingly will continue to have, because I think that WWE have looked at future projections and I think that they've decided that they've got to take these actions, and I think that's why we're here. Sonny Wolf saying Deanna Perazzo has been released, and wow, okay. A lot of people saying that Deanna Perazzo has now been released, so has she been released? She's not confirmed yet. But it looks like we've got another bit of breaking news coming in that Deanna Perazzo, certainly, yeah. Deanna Perazzo, a tweet right here. The people closest to me know this is something I've been struggling with wanting for the best part of the last year. Happy to say I gave this journey my best, and I'm more excited for the future. So it looks like Deanna Perazzo, who we only saw the other week. I can't remember who she faced. I believe it was on NXT. And I believe it was in maybe... I can't remember who she faced. Nia Jax. It was Raw. When Nia Jax returned on Raw last week, her opponent was Deanna Perazzo. And seemingly Deanna Perazzo. I'm not gonna add it until it's been confirmed. Sean Ross, this spoken by Cal W as well. NXT talent now starting to be released. I actually thought NXT talent had already been released. I thought that's what Lio Rush was. I thought that's what Drake Maverick was. So I actually thought that NXT talent had already been affected, but when does this end? I legitimately don't know when this ends. Seemingly we're going down, and we're now going to start seeing NXT getting ripped apart now. How do they do a show now? How do they do a show in these circumstances with everything that's going on and all of this situation tonight? How do you do that show? Okay, let's have a look. Just going back to WWE.com to see if Deanna Perazzo has been added to that list yet. She hasn't been added to that list, or certainly not from what I can see. Big Boy Dally says, what about SmackDown? Well, we don't know where Heath Slater was, so I don't know if we've... I don't know. Who expected any of this? Okay, Deanna Perazzo has not been confirmed yet, but seemingly she will be because of the post that she's just sent out. Days, Zack and Curt had a massive WWE collection, so I wonder if they will throw it all away. No. They're wrestling fans and figure fans, and that's not going to change just because they've lost their jobs. But I mean, how heartbreaking. How heartbreaking for someone like Zack Ryder that has given, so many years of service to WWE. And he was an integral part as well of like the figure releases and things along those lines. So, Dylan Harrison, shout out to you, says, Days, do you think the likes of the Iconics and other talents could have secretly been released from WWE due to COVID-19 and we just haven't been told? No. WWE would announce Superstars being released. I think they have to. Certainly they do, because otherwise, people would ask, where are they? And you just don't release people like that. Plus also, I think they've got a duty to announce these talent releases to the shareholders. So they just can't just release people. So no, Iconics are still on the books. I've seen Deanna Perazzo's. I can see people in the chat saying check Deanna Perazzo. I've seen that news, but it's not come through onto .com yet. So obviously waiting for that, and I'm not going to be putting anything on screen until that actually happens. What about The Miz? No, The Miz nor Nakamura. Neither of those have been released. So yeah, again, there's a lot of fake news that's going around at the moment. So just be very careful with the sources that you're listening to. Certainly go to reliable, trusted sources. The best place that you can go to is WWE.com, because they are giving you the latest information as and when it comes through. But yeah, I understand that you've got the dirt sheets that are finding out maybe some rumours, and also you've got the superstars themselves that are coming out and saying when they've found out themselves. So yeah, I mean, it certainly does look like Deanna Perazzo is going to be added to this list. It's been a little bit of a while, so anyone that's joining us, welcome to Black Wednesday. Welcome to one of the darkest days in the history of WWE. Absolutely no doubt about that in my mind whatsoever. This will go down as one of the darkest days. This will go down as one of the days that we talk about for a long, long time to come, because this really is shocking news. Shocking news. I don't think any of us expected this today. And that news is that over 20 superstars have been released, and seemingly more are being released as we speak. So over 20 superstars have been released. And as well as that, there's 9 talents, backstage producers that have been furloughed. So we've got that situation as well. So horrible situation. Horrible situation. Let's jump into the chat, see what the chat's saying. Incredibly shocking. I completely agree. Seems like we could be on the verge of some NXT releases coming through. So again, we're going to just sit and wait and see if that information is coming through. It's hard to know like how long to do the stream for, to be honest. I don't know how long we should keep the stream going, because I don't know if and when they're going to finish. I don't know when this ends. Days, do you know if trainers in the PC have been released? There's been no news on that. Who from NXT is safe? Seemingly, no one is safe. I no one. I don't know how you can look at this and say that anyone is safe. We're just going to have to wait and see what comes through from NXT, because we're only now just starting to hear the news about NXT. We're only now just starting to find out that NXT is even having people getting cut. So, yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see a little bit longer on that. It seems like Deanna Perazzo might just be the first from NXT. If you want to know the names that have been cut, you can see them scrolling along the bottom of the screen. We've got the likes of Kurt Angle, Rusev, people along those lines. Deanna Perazzo is the latest name that's been rumoured. She's come out on Twitter and said that basically she's gone. We've not seen WWE confirming that though, so we're still waiting for that to come through. Rusev has gone as well. That's one of the bigger names. Sarah Logan has also gone from the company. Still no Deanna Perazzo on the WWE.com. So I don't know. They could be in the process of actually speaking to some other people. It could be that they're in the process of speaking to some other talent. So keeping an eye on Twitter and seeing as to who comes through. I'm just trying to update the little scroll at the bottom. Amazingly, I'm trying to create some more space. I had no idea that it was going to be this many people. Truly, truly shocking day, as we said. One of the darkest days in the history of wrestling. I originally started this stream, I don't even know how long ago, a couple of hours ago now, but I originally started this stream because 5 people had been let go. Those are the 5 names that you can see on screen. So that's why I started the stream, because I know traditionally when they've let people go, they tend to let go more than what gets first announced. So I was under the impression that there would be more names that would get released. And sadly, that seems to be the case. So, yeah, we now find ourselves in the situation where we're up to 20 names. And we are just waiting for Deanna Perazzo to be, sadly, the latest name to get added to that. Let me quickly jump into the chat. Almost 4 hours. No, I don't think it is almost 4 hours, is it? You stream now for 3 hours. Is it 3 hours? I've completely lost track of time. I honestly have not got a clue how long we've been streaming. Honestly, not a clue how long we've been streaming. It's time just is irrelevant right now. Just trying to get our heads around what we're seeing, and as I said, sadly trying to create a little bit more space on the text box at the bottom because of how many people have sadly lost their positions in WWE today. Horrific. Right, let's jump back to WWE.com and just see if Deanna Perazzo or any of the names have been added to that yet. By the looks of it, no. So nothing for Deanna Perazzo on there at this stage. But seemingly she is going to be added. Right, let's go there. And jump back into the chat. Right, I can see that chat has just frozen, so I need to go back into... Again, I'm trying to bring you all the latest news. That's the whole point of this. When we started this stream, 5 people had been released. I knew that it would be more because traditionally it tends to be more. And sadly, we're at the point now where it's got to the point where we're looking at 20 wrestlers that have been released. 9 backstage personnel that have been furloughed as well. And we might even be on the verge of a few people being let go, because the latest news that came through 15 minutes ago was Deanna Perazzo. Deanna Perazzo was the latest person. Cameron says, this must be one of the hardest streams that you've done. To be honest, it's not one of the. This is a very weird stream, because when I started the stream, I did it because I saw that first announcement. I knew that there would be more. Feared that there would be more. Wasn't expecting this. And I thought that we would stream for around about half an hour. Tends to be that within the space of an hour, they release all of this information. So I thought we would probably stream for about half an hour to an hour. And that would be it. And we'd probably be looking at around about 8 names, 10 names at most. We're at the point now where, as we said, 20 names, 21 with Deanna Perazzo, 9 furloughed, so around about 30 people that have been affected. And that has been leaking out over the past near 3 hours, so a very bizarre stream, and you're getting live breaking news, live reaction, live thoughts as it's coming through. Yeah. What do you say? 250 of my co-workers have been laid off. My pay cut is also 30%. We are all in this together. Dale says, Bleacher Report is announcing that Deanna Perazzo has been released. Yes. She's announced it as well. Sin Cara Omar has already been released. He was released a long time ago. Fit Finlay has been furloughed, so yeah, seemingly he is out of the picture at the moment. Let's have a look and see if we search WWE where we are with Rusev has been released. Yeah, EC3 has been released. A WWE writer who worked on the Mandy Otis love story has announced that she has also been let go from WWE. Andrea Listenberger tweeted, lots of people are getting let go at WWE today, and regrettably, I am one of them. But I'm proud of the work that I've been able to do since starting in December. I'm glad that the storyline that I worked on resonated with so many people. That's what writing is all about for me. Hashtag Otis and Mandy forever. So that tweet coming from Andrea Listenberger. She was a writer. And she has seemingly been let go. So, again, this is what we're saying. It's not just talent on camera. It's all of those people behind the scenes that you seemingly might not find out about. We're only finding out about her because she has sent that tweet out. Eric and Ivar leaving. Swamp Manor says that Sonya has gone. I'm going to have a... I don't think Sonya would go, would she? Let's have a look and see if Sonya's tweeted out anything. 55 minutes ago, Sonya said, my heart is breaking for everyone. Stay strong. Stay positive. Please make sure that you are getting your information from reliable sources. There's a lot of fake news out there. There's a lot of people that are posting stuff for the sake of posting stuff. So just make sure that you're using reliable sources. The best places that you can get information from would be direct from WWE Or, yes, of course, as superstars are posting this information out themselves. But, yeah, this is too serious to joke about. Far too serious to joke about. I think the one of the concerns is that we still haven't seen Deanna Perazzo. Deanna Perazzo has still not seemingly had her name added yet, so my concern with that is the fact that are they adding NXT talent to this list, or are they on the phone to other people, or what's the situation at the moment? What is the ongoing situation? Why is it taking so long to get Deanna Perazzo confirmed when she has come out on Twitter a while ago and said that she's out? How do we watch a show? I don't know, is the answer. Asuka hasn't gone, no. This is sad, says Dr. Phil. I completely agree. I know everyone in the chat is 12, but please don't believe or spread fake news. Yeah, this is far too serious. We are a channel that really like to have fun. We're a channel that likes to enjoy ourselves. But hopefully you can see from my lead on this that this is absolutely nothing that we're joking about, and nothing that deserves anything other than, maximum seriousness here, because this is a horrible, horrible situation. A truly horrible situation. Many livelihoods being affected by this information that's coming through today, so... Still waiting for Deanna Perazzo to be confirmed, as we said. Let's go back to the chat. Richard Murphy says, I never thought that COVID-19 would get this serious a few months ago. Insider's podcast, it's a mess. It is a mess. Lacey is still on WWE. Days I heard that IRS and Finlay were fired. They were furloughed, so they've kind of been released, but they could be brought back. So there's been no confirmation from WWE on that. They're not part of the list that's on WWE.com. But as we said, they've been furloughed. So Finlay, Mike Rotunda, Shane Helm, Lance Storm, Sean Davari, Kidman, Pat Buck, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock. Daniel Brochu says, the only thing that can make me feel better after this is if WWE takes opportunity to spend time on making their remaining superstars massive stars. Stars have more opportunity now that they'll have more TV time. Akira and Cassius have not gone, no. Connor Bell says WWE are killing themselves. Will you be live for NXT? Yes, we will still do NXT. I am actually keeping an eye on the clock because, of course, we do an NXT stream every Wednesday from midnight here in the UK, or 7 Eastern. I think at the time of watching this, it's just gone 5 Eastern. So I'm very aware we're now less than 2 hours till we would be doing a NXT AEW stream, but how any of us are meant to concentrate on that show tonight is beyond me. And I still don't understand why we've not seen Deanna Perazzo confirmed. I've got no idea. There's a new tweet by WWE. Just a page match, an old page match. I don't think I don't think the WWE social media team really know what to do right now, to be honest. I think what they need to do is stop tweeting. I'm honestly heartbroken, says the Rachel and Dan vlog. Shout out to you. I'm totally there with you. I'm totally there with you. I'm just having a look to see if they've put Deanna Perazzo on that list, because my concern is that they're actually on the phone to several superstars and it's all going to just drop through in another wave. Still no Deanna Perazzo. I'm betting that they're going to save those NXT fire-ins for tomorrow. Well, I think what we'll do is we're definitely going to stick around for another 20 minutes, even if there is nothing else that comes through tonight. I'm hoping that is it. Hashtag WWE releases is now trending. So WWE releases is trending. I'm just having a look to see if there's any other mentions or anything else from anyone else. The last that we saw was Deanna Perazzo. Will Roman Reigns be released? No. Roman Reigns is one of their biggest stars, and whilst they've got any money left, they'll keep him on the books. Lio Rush was talented. He was. A lot of these stars were talented. A lot of these stars were talented. NXT, a couple of hours ago, tweeting out about the Cruiserweight Championship tournament. Again, if you didn't see that news earlier, Drake Maverick saying that he had been told that he could still compete in that tournament. Drake Maverick is part of that tournament and apparently was still going to be competing in that tournament as well. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I don't know if Drake Maverick being a part of that tournament is the right thing or not, but seemingly he wants to still be a part of that tournament. So I suppose, why not? We've all seen, I'm sure now, the emotional video that he's posted. I would say that that's probably the video that's probably broken most people's hearts. But yeah, a lot of people being affected by the news today. A lot of people being affected. Cal W sending me through a Sean Ross tweet. Says NXT talent is being provided 30 days of pay and then are free to do whatever they want. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is that all of NXT? I don't understand what that means. NXT talent is being provided 30 days pay and then they are free to do whatever they want. This is clearly still a developing situation. This is clearly still breaking news coming through here. Apollo, 25 minutes ago, saying to No Way Jose, telling No Way Jose that he loved him. Quite a lot of emotion on, as you said, Alexa Bliss says that she was in absolute tears when she saw Drake Maverick's post. I think a lot of people getting very upset when they saw Drake Maverick's post. Zack Ryder. You can't process it, to be honest. I can't process it. I can't, even Zack Ryder would be difficult for me to process because he's someone that's been, he's all over the Mattel figure reveals. He's very passionate about wrestling. He's someone that's got a massive figure collection and, is someone that you see kind of semi-regular with Curt Hawkins. Curt Hawkins kind of came back not that long ago, a couple of years ago, but Zack Ryder's been around for, I couldn't even tell you how long, how many years that he's been around consistently. So just Zack Ryder, I think, is a big shock. But then add in the likes of Sarah Logan, that just seems like such a needless I can't imagine her contract was that much. But Sarah Logan being released just seems so needless. And Rusev, massive. AEW, if they've got any money to spare, like to spend, they surely will pick up Rusev. Surely they'll pick up Rusev. Dale Creasy says, Sean Ross Sapp now saying that Lana is being released. Ruby Riott has not gone, though. Is all of NXT released or what? I don't think they're not. I can't see them releasing NXT. I don't think they're going to release all of NXT. I can't see them allowing the likes of Tommaso and Johnny and people like that to go off the books. Finn Balor. I mean, Finn Balor's down in NXT. Charlotte Flair. Is she in NXT? I mean, she's the NXT Women's Champ. I should imagine what they are talking about is probably those superstars that haven't debuted yet. It might be the superstars that are at the training center. I mean, I don't know what this means for the likes of The Rock's daughter. I don't know what this means for the likes of Jordan O'McBean, who we've been waiting to debut for a long time. He is the second tallest superstar they ever would have had. Well, he is signed. He's been working at the Performance Center. So yeah, again, I don't know what this means. Lana isn't released. She's resigned. I'm going to have a look at Lana. Because I think with Rusev gone, I think that Lana would definitely be someone that would go as well. Deanna Perazzo, I've got no idea why they've not announced her. I don't know if they're not treating that as a separate thing. But if we have a look at Lana, I bet she's not doing her TikToks today. No message from Lana. Nothing from Lana. Unless she's put it on Instagram, but certainly nothing on Twitter from Lana. Lio Rush was crying on Twitter. Drake Maverick was as well. I should imagine a lot of people are crying on Twitter, off Twitter. This is serious. What about NXT UK? Don't know. They're not recording at the moment, so I would imagine there would probably be releases in NXT UK, but I certainly wouldn't want to be speculating on that. Did Lana sign a 5-year contract? That was certainly the rumour. Insiders said he just meant that the NXT talent who were released get 30 days pay and then they can do what they want. What a horrible day. Oh, okay. I don't know what NXT talent that is. Is he referring to... I mean, who in that list is NXT? Kurt Angle isn't. Rusev isn't. Drake Maverick? Maybe. Zack Ryder isn't. Curt Hawkins isn't. Karl Anderson isn't. Gallows isn't. Slater isn't. Eric Young isn't. Rowan isn't. Logan isn't. No Way Jose isn't. Mike Chioda isn't. Mike Kanellis? I don't even know anymore. Maria Kanellis? I don't know. EC3 isn't. Aiden English? Would he class as NXT? I suppose. Lio Rush, I believe, would. Out of all of that, you're potentially talking about 3 people. Maybe 4 with Deanna Perazzo. Regia Productions. No word on Liv Reign, no. Maverick is going to compete still. It'll be his last match. Lio is live on Instagram. He is upset. Yep. Chelsea Green seemingly is still on the roster, yes. Eric Rowan to AEW to join Brody and the Dark Order. Miss Clown 1 saying this is people's livelihoods. It is. It absolutely is. No news on Kyrie. No news on Kyrie. I kind of get the feeling like it's been a little while now since we've had any announcements. So I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed that that's it. Although it would be very strange if Deanna Perazzo was the last person to be kind of let go and then them not add her to the list. I don't know what's happening with Deanna Perazzo. She's announced it. I've even retweeted her tweet. The people closest to me know that this is something I've been struggling with wanting for the better part of last year. Happy to say I gave this journey my best, and I'm more excited for the future. That was 36 minutes ago. Liam Costa Coffee says, I've been here from the start. I just didn't want to talk. I hate what's happened. This is awful. It's definitely a dark day for wrestling. No news on Kevin Owens. Basically, the names that you can see on screen are the only confirmed names. The only other names that you really need to know about. Deanna Perazzo, 30-odd minutes ago, pretty much announced that she was out, but that hasn't been confirmed by WWE. Andrea Listenberger was a writer for WWE who has taken to Twitter. She wrote the Otis and Mandy storyline. She is out. And then 9 producers, legends, Finlay, IRS, The Hurricane, Lance Storm, Daivari, Billy Kidman, Pat Buck, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock, all of those have been furloughed. So that's where we are at the moment. That's the latest news. And honestly, I don't know if there's any more to come. As we said, we're probably going to stick around probably for another 15 minutes or so. Probably going to stick around for another 15 minutes just to see if there's any more that gets announced. Obviously, I'm hoping not. I suppose my concern is the fact that Deanna Perazzo announcement hasn't come through yet, which does just make me question whether they are literally on the phone to other people as we speak. I don't know. I don't know why they've not added that to the WWE.com list. Who's going to compete for the 24/7 now? Get rid of the belt. Peyton Royce confirmed. Heath has tweeted. Peyton Royce is not confirmed. Well, certainly wasn't confirmed. And isn't confirmed. Is R-Truth safe? Yeah. Heath had been a part of WWE for 16 years, apparently. Well, people telling me that Heath Slater has sent a tweet out. Let's have a look. Heath Slater. Heath Slater, 5 minutes ago. So Heath Slater has had this to say. This is going to be a rough one. I know everyone is waiting to hear my response to the release from WWE. But after 16 years, I'm going to need a little more than a few hours to really digest all my thoughts and emotions. For now, thank you all for all of your kind words and support during this time. Those words coming from Heath Slater. Heath Slater, who after 16 years was let go from WWE today. As we said, the names going across the screen. The names on screen as well are the names of those that have sadly lost their jobs today. Zack Ryder had been employed for 15 years. Deanna Perazzo is gone, yeah. Jonathan Wilberding says, how are they releasing talent? They had the highest rating of any television show, 3.8 million on SmackDown. All the wrestling shows are off the charts. I think, well, you say that, but I think Raw had an average rating or a lowest point rating of 1.9 million, which is almost a record low. It was quite interesting as well that they shouted about how WrestleMania was the most social WrestleMania. And they didn't really necessarily shout about how many network subscribers they'd gained. They didn't shout about how many people had tuned in. There was very little information about how many people actually watched WrestleMania. They were more focused on how social it was. Basically, how many tweets had been sent and things along those lines. So actually, I would argue that this hasn't been a brilliant time for them. Not only are they missing out on ticket sales and merch sales, I don't think that the TV shows have been getting brilliant ratings. But to be honest, I don't think they're too concerned by that, because I think, if anything, they're being forced in a position where they're having to put out live shows, and even just doing that is giving them bad reputation. And the reason why I say they're being forced is because certainly the rumours that I'm hearing is that Fox and USA will not allow any more taped shows. WWE might want to just provide best ofs. They might want to just give you the best of Raw, the best of SmackDown, the best matches of 2019. But seemingly they're not allowed to do that because the TV contract states they're only allowed so many taped shows. So now they're being forced into a situation where they either do these live shows, which no one wants them to do. The talent don't want them. The fans don't want them. I mean, health comes first. So they either do those, or they, basically then go against their TV contract. Now, at the moment, they haven't gone against the TV contract. I wonder if they are going to go against it. I wonder if what we're seeing is them looking at this and thinking, we're not going to be able to do live shows. We're going to have to, we can't honour the contract. So as a result, we're going to breach our TV contract. That means we're going to lose X amount of money. And so as a result, this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to let people go. Now, that's pure speculation on my part, because where I'm struggling to understand is the fact that and Dave Meltzer is struggling to understand, is that they seemingly have got $500 million sat in a bank that they could use and keep the business going until we get through this phase, I mean, it could be that we go back to shows with crowds in 4 weeks' time. If this is, the peak of it, then it could be a couple of months, 4 to 8 weeks. We could be back with shows with crowds. But seemingly, WWE have looked at the finances, and come to the conclusion that this is what they've got to do. And I like Dave Meltzer. I'm struggling to understand why. So I wonder if they are going to make a call and not keep up the live shows, or, breach TV contracts and then have to repay some of the money, or maybe they've already started spending some of that financial reserve. Again, just pure speculation by me. But these are the kind of conversations that, to be honest, I'm not seeing many people having. I'm seeing a lot of people saying it's Vince being Vince, and that could be true. That could be true. This isn't me sitting here defending Vince McMahon. He certainly doesn't need my help, or certainly doesn't need me to sit here and do that for him. So that's not what I'm doing. But I do genuinely think there's more to the story than what most people tend to talk about. And one of those aspects is the fact that Fox and USA would only allow so many tape shows. And genuinely, I don't think they would want to let go someone like Heath Slater unless they had to. I think Heath Slater has always struck me as a stand-up guy, someone that was always willing to do anything, someone that would always put himself out there. And so you do look at it and go, why would they let go Heath Slater? Unless they really had to. Because he's someone that you would think would have a job for life. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's done so much stuff. Anything that's been asked. Very similar in a way to R-Truth. R-Truth, you know, has always done what's been asked. Never, you know, asked questions or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm very surprised by some of these names that have been released. Coaster Maniac says 20 minutes ago, WWE tweeted a video of Paige defending her title. Shameful. Yep. Vince is worth 1.7 billion and he's just pledged 18.5 to Trump's super PAC. Again, a little more complicated than that because his billions are connected to WWE's share price, and WWE's share price crashed just before coronavirus, wiping off a good chunk of his money. And it crashed because of those two executives that left. We don't know what's going to happen after coronavirus has gone and what WWE's share price is. I don't even know what their share price is right now. All I know is the stock market. I could probably buy it for £1. So, yeah, I don't know how much WWE is worth. I don't know how much their shares are worth. And as a result, I don't know how much Vince is worth because it's all connected. So, again, this is not a defense of Vince McMahon. But I think you're going to see a lot of people saying those kinds of comments. Vince is worth X. They've got X in reserve. So why are we letting go 20 wrestlers? And I have to believe that there's more to it than what meets the eye. I have to believe that it's that. I mean, like, why would you let go people like this if you didn't have to? Because they could end up going to AEW, and Vince McMahon absolutely does not want that. Vince McMahon, for how long now, has been tying up talent, not allowing it to go to AEW, trying to starve them of talent. So why now, if he didn't have to, would he be letting go 20 superstars and superstars that really could benefit AEW? Because look at Rusev. He would be a big addition to AEW. He would be a decent name. He is someone that has consistently been on WWE TV for years now. And he is someone that would bring some value to AEW. And I feel like Sarah Logan as well. I feel that Sarah Logan would really bring value because their women's division could really do with some, you know, legitimate names and legitimate stars. And I really do feel that Sarah Logan was someone that had a lot of potential. And for whatever reason, WWE didn't see that potential or didn't want to fulfill that potential. They didn't really believe in Sarah Logan for whatever reason. I feel like she would do very well in AEW. Christopher Rogers says, has Zack Ryder been fired? Yes, you can see the names scrolling along the bottom. The names along the bottom are the same as the names on screen as well. So you can see the names along the bottom. Sorry, a difference, the names on screen. So the 5 names and the names at the bottom. Zack Ryder debuted in 2005 but wasn't signed until 2007. LSW says, Days, imagine being an NXT talent and having to go to NXT tonight. Didn't you say 25 minutes ago you would do 20 minutes more? Yeah, that's true. I mean, look, I still need to have something to eat and set up an NXT stream, but to be honest, how do you do that? How do you do that? Rusev confirmed. Yep, you can see those, as you said, you can see those confirmed names on on screen right now. Let me go back to the chat. Alexander has been released from NXT. His Twitter, he said goodbye. Thought I'd let you know he was in a tag team on house shows. Jody Gilly, shout out to you. Jody says, here's my thoughts. I'm not a Vince McMahon fan, but this is business decision. Vince lost millions on Mania and XFL, if not hundreds of millions. He's not stupid. He's a smart businessman. Jody says, P.S. don't forget about the podcast. I don't even know when that is, to be honest. I haven't looked. I don't know. Jim Gore says, WWE's stock is $38.90. When is the Insiders? So, yeah, you're right. I definitely don't want to overrun that. We've got a community podcast. Obviously, those guys aren't going to talk about it. I mean, you'll be able to talk about it in the chat. Everywhere I'm turning right now, there's nothing but bad news. Due to this is from the Insiders an hour ago, our community podcast. Due to the disheartening news from WWE, we will not have any scheduled content this evening. We are both sending our thoughts and prayers out to those affected by these mass layoffs. Well, there we go. There is no podcast from the Insiders, unfortunately. I don't want to sit here and just ramble away. I can tell you that Andrade has tweeted out some prayer hands. I don't think Andrade is going to be let go. He is the current United States champion, so I don't think they'll be letting Andrade go. But I think he was more just paying his respect. I feel like things are settling down. I feel like things are now starting to settle down, so I think we probably are getting towards the point where we could start to think about wrapping up this stream, because of course we are going to be coming back for a whole nother stream very soon. Literally, I'm going to eat some food, set up NXT stream, and as you said, nothing from the Insiders. So, yeah, 20, for those of you that haven't heard, 20 talent released, even a writer, 9 producers that have been furloughed. Josh says this is sad. This is very sad. I just want to double check. I just want to double check that we've definitely spoke about everyone, because I would hate to finish this stream and then it turns out there's more. Although saying that, even if there is, we can pick up on it and talk about it in the NXT stream. But I am aware there's going to be a lot of people that are at work at the moment, or a lot of people that are in the garden, or doing things that maybe aren't on Twitter and maybe aren't seeing this news as it's coming through. Well, all I can say is the information on screen is accurate from WWE. Released wrestlers are all from Raw and 205 Live. Brandon says apparently they are looking to release NXT guys now. I don't understand how 2.5 hours before an NXT show they are seriously looking at releasing NXT talent. In fact, I don't understand how they can expect NXT talent to even want to get into a ring tonight to put on a wrestling show, considering the carnage that's just been unleashed. I mean, there are people that are crying their eyes out. There are people that are seeing their good, dear friends losing their jobs that, will want to be there for them, rather than having to leave their homes to go to NXT to put on a show for people. I don't get it. I don't understand why this information couldn't have been announced tomorrow. I'm not saying that makes it any better. It's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that why couldn't this information have been released tomorrow when there was at least no shows, so that you can be there for people, you know? I mean, people like No Way Jose and Lio Rush and people like that, you know, they've got a lot of connections in... Rusev? Insider said, we decided to pull our content today due to what happened. Just wanted to make sure that everyone knew. Didn't feel right to have it. Nails and NY says that Zack has tweeted. Let's see what Zack's got to say. Let's go over to Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder, here we go. The only thing I wanted to do in life was wrestle. I'm grateful that I spent 14 years living my dream in WWE. Thanks to the fans and everyone who believed in me. As I was getting released, I was looking at this photo and smiling. I'm always ready and beyond excited for the future. So that's the picture. Looks like a Rob Schamberger image of Zack and his dad from WrestleMania 31. That's when Zack won the Intercontinental Championship in the ladder match. So he's got that obviously in his house, and he said he was looking at that as... I mean, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing insight? As I was getting released, I was looking at this photo and smiling. So it shows, doesn't it, that they're, you know, they're just getting these phone calls. They're just getting these phone calls. Incredible. Sunny Wolf says it's the calm before the storm. There will be more tomorrow. Richard Murphy said, I just watched the Drake Maverick video and I am heartbroken. It was 32, not 31. Yes, you're right. 32, sorry. All WWE TV has been pre-taped for this month already. Nope. It's live. Raw went back to being live on Monday. Days, can you make a video on the full release? Do you know what? There'll be others that will do that, but in all fairness, I jumped on because I wanted to bring this news to you guys that, you know, it was really sad about the 5 that had been released. And as I said, I felt like there could be more because historically, whenever there's been an announcement like this, there has always been more that's followed. So that's why I jumped on to do this stream. And, wow, I wasn't expecting another 15 people to lose their jobs. And also, again, we don't know what's happened with Deanna Perazzo. I'm going to, before I do wrap up, I am going to double check to see about Deanna Perazzo. I will jump on and have a look and see if that has now actually been confirmed, because I'm very confused by her tweet saying that, you know, she was out and all this kind of stuff. I can't understand that. Struggle to understand that, and then for them to not announce it. So this is on WWE.com, the confirmed names. This should be all of the confirmed names. Obviously, this doesn't include Andrea Listenberger, who was a writer. This doesn't include the furloughed talent as well. We've got Kurt Angle, Rusev, Drake Maverick, Zack Ryder, Curt Hawkins, Karl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Rowan, Sarah Logan, No Way Jose, Mike Chioda, Mike Kanellis, Maria Kanellis, EC3, Aiden English, Lio Rush, Primo, and Epico. And that is that. That is the confirmed list of everyone that has sadly lost their jobs today. And as we said, you know, there's lots of emotion on Twitter. Lots of people tweeting out. And as well as that, we've got the furloughed names of Fit Finlay, Mike Rotunda, Shane Helm, Lance Storm, Sean Davari, Billy Kidman, Pat Buck, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock. So looks like it's been a little while now. So looks like that certainly for today, that is it. The big concern would be there's lots of talk about NXT. There's lots of talk about SmackDown. There doesn't seem to be anything else coming through today. But the concern would be, does that just open the door for tomorrow? Does that mean that tomorrow we actually get another wave like this? I just want to jump over to Dave Meltzer and see what Dave Meltzer is saying. I know that a lot of people don't like Dave. I've always found that he has got more right than he's got wrong. What is the total salaries of the people on this list? Wouldn't be a drop in the bucket of profit for 2020. Dave Meltzer says true. So Dave Meltzer saying that all the wages of the people on this list wouldn't have made a dent into what the profit would have been for 2020. Dave really going in hard here. The cult of WWE has never been more apparent than today. Haven't had time to check, but others have told me the bottom 2% are setting records today. I don't know what that means. I know I probably don't have no experience when it comes to running businesses, analysing businesses, teaching sports businesses, and have never ever looked at short and long-term WWE businesses. Okay, Dave saying that someone's saying he doesn't know what he's on about, and Dave basically saying that he's run businesses, he's analysed businesses, he's taught businesses, and he's constantly analysed WWE's business, so he does have some idea. Right. Yeah, I think we're done. Get your final thoughts in before we do wrap up. Nails and NY, shout out to you. Deanna also released, but not confirmed by WWE. The day. Thank you, Days. Shout out to you. I just saw the Drake Maverick video. It's very emotional. Bray Wyatt did tweet. He just tweeted out yuck, unless he's tweeted out anything else. Of course, I don't even think we've really spoke about it, but Bray Wyatt's dad, IRS, has been furloughed today. So, yeah, Mike Rotunda has been furloughed. So, very much this is impacting Bray as it's impacting all of us. Right, I'm going to go. As I said, I think it's been a little while now, so I think we're kind of past that storm. Thank you for joining us. This went way longer than I was expecting. I honestly thought that this would just be a stream where we would be talking for about half an hour, maybe an hour, as maybe a few more names were to come through past the original 5. We've actually been streaming for just over 3.5 hours. And, yeah, very, very emotional, very, very difficult. If you've not seen the Drake Maverick video, then I urge that you would, because I think that you will really get a real appreciation for what this means. I think there's a lot of kids out there that maybe aren't taking this too serious, because, of course, they don't know. I think there's probably a lot of adults out there which, unfortunately, are going to see this as an opportunity to spread fake news, and I think that's going to be very disappointing. So make sure that you're getting your news from like reliable sources. I would urge that you just go to WWE Direct, or direct from the Superstars. I can't imagine the Superstars are going to be messing around at this time and coming out with things at this time. It's far too serious for that. So yeah, I just want to say a big thank you for joining us and sticking with us as we kind of found out this news together. It is heartbreaking. We will be back in an hour and a quarter. So if there is any other news or anything else for us to talk about, then we will talk about it then. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate the support, and obviously to everyone in WWE that's affected, or any of you that are going through any kind of economic difficulties at this time, financial difficulties, or of course health concerns as well, then my thoughts go out to all of you as well. So stay safe, stay healthy, keep your chins up, because there's always a brighter tomorrow. Bye for now.